Hey, welcome back to the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. Thanks for tuning in, folks. This is your host, your couch writer, Raven Jermaine Lockett. What's going on? We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to have my boy Kam Ru on here pretty soon here. We're just going to get him on the show and we'll get started. But I just want to start off with a couple of things and say, for one, Giro is still here. So get over it. Of course, I say that, and anything could change right now. Nothing is fluid until we get to like training camp or something like that. I mean, anybody can get fired. Anybody can get it any day of the week. What's happening, Bless Brian? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming through. Oh man, he says the GOAT. Yeah, I appreciate you. That's a lot of love, man. Oh, and I just wanted to give y'all some love, man. Someone just want to say shout out. Shout out to each of you because we sitting at 839 subs right now, and that is because of you. Each and every one of you, dedicating yourself to that subscribe button, and some of you hitting the bell. I want to say my heart goes out to each of y'all. I appreciate you coming through and showing that love, showing the support. Whether you coming from Engraven's channel, whether you coming from, wherever, where you coming from, lunch break, hot take. You probably just got finished watching that show, the overtime show. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, bringing me all the way up from 700 and I think 780 subs just like 3 days ago, all the way to where we are with the 839. Hey, yeah, I'm humbled. I feel amazing. I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep the party going. Let's get all the way to 1,000. Let's grow from there. But the 1,000 is where everything is going to happen for this channel. It's going to make things a little bit better. I think they might even just take off from there. But y'all are part of something great, and I appreciate you. All right. Wilbert is in the building with a little bit of, he says, AB to the Ravens, and your team is set. Go Browns. Sir, no, sir. No, sir. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. I want to wait. I want to wait for Kam Ru to get into the room to discuss that one. But, oh, my gosh. Yes, we need to get into this talk with this madman. All right, man. Bless Brian said 1,000 mil soon. Yes, appreciate you, man. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We gotta get there. We get there. So, like I said, you see somebody who isn't subscribed, get to them, talk to them, let them know we having a good time over here. We just chatting it up, doing our thing. I don't know if y'all talked to or got to look at everything that was going on today with the Baltimore Ravens, but you saw CoCap. It's unfortunate, the time is undefeated. It is fully undefeated in this game. And CoCap gave a lot to special teams. He was a leader amongst these young men on this team, and granted, he didn't get to play as much at the defensive position. But hey, when we were pretty much our backs were against the wall, this guy was there. He didn't complain. He just came in and did his job. There were times he had to face off against big receivers like Des Bryant. And you know what? He did all right. He did decent. He got a little clown in the preseason stuff, but I mean, for the most part, to be able to strap on a helmet and take on one of the top tier players in the league in their prime, it shows, hey, you still have something in the tank. And CoCap had plenty in the tank until he just decided to hang it up today. So much love to CoCap and everything he brought to the Baltimore Ravens. He brought that tenacity and that mentality, and he shined on special teams. So give that guy a lot of props. Let's see. Couple of y'all. Let's see. There's one. Is Marcus Peter Stan? We get into that too. So the thing about Marcus, man, it's like there's a price tag associated with Marcus, but at the same time, we saw what happened when we don't have a corner like Marcus Peters in the game. Do we really want to go through the pain of dealing with Joe Burrow without having a player to take on these top tier wide receivers? I'm not saying just one player because we're gonna have Humpback. We're gonna have Humpback. I'm not sure what the deal is going to be with Young, with Tavon, but we need those high caliber players. And sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and pay that price to get those guys that you need to be able to take on those top tier wide receivers. We're going to have to deal with the Bengals for a very, very long time to come, and saving a couple of mil by dropping one of the top corners in the league. And I give it to him. He is one of the top corners in the league because he likes to bait quarterbacks. And Joe Burrow does not sit back there easy when he sees both Hump and Peters back there. So that's just something to think about. Is it worth the price tag? I think so. Pay that man his money, or either that or give him an extension and push a little bit down the road. Don't become the Saints because they $74 million in cap heck. And that is why Sean Payton probably quit because they ain't got no quarterback and he's in cap hell. Oh no. No. That's where you just say, hey, you know what? It was cool. Let's part ways. That's y'all's debt. That's not mine. I'm gonna go ahead and back out. He one of them. He reminds me of one of my friends back in 2006 at the table. Whenever after all the drinks got ordered, and then the tabs came because we know everybody was ordering rounds, and then he started going through the tab like, nah, he ordered that. He ordered that, and then I didn't order that. I know y'all actually ordered another round, but that wasn't on me. I know it looked like it was my turn, but I did not say, hey, I ordered this. Yeah, that's Sean Payton for you. Got everything, pretty much put that roster in the trash, and then didn't want to pay up. So that just there you are. But anyway, back to what I was saying. You need to pay sometimes to play. Just like Lamar is going to cost a great deal of the salary cap, around about 12% of that salary cap. So let's do the numbers real quick, because I'm a Louisiana guy. I am a Louisiana guy, and math was not our thing. There was a lot of education that wasn't our thing, but you know what? I made it. I got a bachelor's degree. I'm good to go. But somehow it worked out. But our math isn't our thing, so we're gonna go and type in what the salary cap is right now, which is about 208 mil. And if you say, hey, this guy's going to take up about 12% of that cap. All right, so right now, like I said, his contract, this is the one that's the $23 million contract that he's getting for the 5th-year option. So that's about $12 million. So one of the fun facts that got brought up by the Russell Street Report when they were talking about signing Lamar and how he fits with Greg Roman, he brought up when he signs, or being that he's under contract this year for the $23 million option, he'll be the first QB since 1994, if he wins the Super Bowl, to actually account for 12% of the team's total cap and still win that Super Bowl. I thought that was a pretty good fact. Let's just say this is the revenge tour. We see it all over NFL Network. This is the year that Harbaugh's got to really put it together for us. He's getting a contract extension, possibly, but for how long? Are they going to say, hey, we're going to give you 2 years to get your life together, and 1 year maybe for you and Roman before y'all break up or whatever? Are we going to break this up on y'all? All right, so let's check it out. It says, Coach Cap's still here. I'm happy for him. He'll still be scouting for the teams. And I think, sometimes when the mind continues on, the body not so much. And so as you lose that speed, you still got that intelligence. You still got everything that you learned and everything those coaches taught you. So I think this is a great opportunity for him to come forward and just give counsel to our defensive coordinator, and then also go scouting the next talent for the next generation of players that we need to go forward. Excited for Coach Cap for this transition. Won't see him in uniform, but he will definitely be a big impact to this team. What's going on? Now, I heard them pronounce your name on the Let's Break Hot Take saying Tanya. It's Tanya, right? I want to say that J is solid. Hopefully I'm not messing it up the entire time. But let me know. It said, hi, Couch Rider and Ravens Flock. Question. How do you feel about all the new defensive coaches? And do you think Harbaugh's circle is still small? Still doing the good old boy system? Yes, he still is. Yes, that is the thing. We've seen it before because Juan Castillo was probably one of the worst offensive line coaches that we've ever had. And he got promoted to run game coordinator, which caused, I think there was a coach named Montgomery, who was a really good running backs coach. I mean, we had the 4th rank rushing attack with Montgomery there, and he did not get promoted to run game coordinator. So he basically was like, no, I'm out because you were over here rewarding bad behavior to your homeboys. And then, they try to keep Castillo around, but he was just really bad for the team. I mean, through 6 weeks, we had one of the worst rushing attacks I think it was in 2015. And that was with Ray Rice. So, if you got Ray Rice and you trying to implement a zone scheme when everybody's used to man blocking at the time, and granted, we needed the transition, but that transition period was about as ugly as all get out. Anyway, back to your question. When it comes to the defensive coach, I was going to talk about that as one of my first things. As soon as I got my guest on here, I don't know exactly what happened. Let me find out. All right, he's about 7 minutes out, so we're gonna go forward, and we'll get him on the show. I'm pretty sure we'll be on for another 7 minutes. But I want to. So the J is pronounced. Okay, so Tanja. Yeah, my fault. You were on many shows of this, and I should have asked this before, so I am sorry. Thank you for coming through, Tanja. I appreciate you. So anyway, back to your question. So as far as those coaches, let me just get to it real quick. So McDonald, he said to be the front runner. Is it sealed? Is it a signed, sealed, delivered deal? I have been hearing that all day. We got this one website or one page on Instagram. They like to say things a lot before it actually happens, and they end up being wrong. So they actually came out and said breaking news that he signed. No, that is not true. Do not believe Instagram as far as one of these accounts out there that just is tossing it out there acting like they are breaking news. No, if it doesn't come from Jonas Schaefer, if it doesn't come from Jess Zerbiak, if it doesn't come from JH Jameson Hensley, those are my main three I go through. I expect y'all to go through those as well. Follow them on Twitter. If they're not giving you the lowdown on the Ravens, don't believe nobody else. I'm gonna just be straight up with you. Don't believe Mike. Don't believe none of them. Lombardi. Yeah, I believe Lombardi because Lombardi is close to them as well, and he's over that Russell Street report. So definitely look at those three guys, and that's where you'll get your information from the best. And I like to, like to be transparent. I'm not gonna sit here and hold these facts back. If you follow those guys on Twitter, they're gonna give you that information. Here we go. So as far as McDonald being the front runner, let's talk about McDonald. I was just like, dude, what does he bring to the table? So I had to do some study and see what he's capable of. So he's one of these guys that likes to, he trusts in the man coverage. He loves to run a 4-1 set and having a cover 2 over the top. So what that says is he wants to create pressure with the one-on-one situations. I like how he runs a little bit of cover 4 sometimes. But if he's running cover 2, he's preferring to go with man, and he's trusting his nickels. He likes to run nickel blitzes. He does a lot of press man coverage. Like I say, he likes to make those one-on-one matchups, and he's teaching these pass rushers to beat those one-on-one matchups and get pressure with just 4. He likes to do some stunts. He concentrates on the awareness of the players. And then I think he had a premier pass rusher of Aiden Hutchinson, who had like 14 sacks. So if he comes to Baltimore and he's able to teach enough technique or have enough schemes to set it up and just teach that technique to where we could have a defensive end who could be on the level, maybe somewhat on the level of Aiden Hutchinson, that could be great for Baltimore. So I could be excited about winning those matchups on front so we can actually cover in the back, because we're definitely going to need it. With, as you saw, the superpowers this weekend, they were throwing up crazy numbers, and we're going to need as many defensive backs on the field as possible. He likes to blitz corners. He teaches good inside moves from over there, faking to the outside and stabbing to the left and then dipping with the shoulder. So I like that. So that's pretty cool. And then he, like I said, just coaching those winning one-on-one matchups is pretty solid. So let's see. Adit says, McDonald coaches pass rusher David Ojabo. Yes, I saw some tape against Ohio State on that one as well. His scouting report and background is identical to former high school teammate Odafe Owe. I think he's a special interest to the Ravens right now. I think, they were pretty cool, Odafe and Ojabo. In fact, I think they said Ojabo, I'm probably saying this wrong. They said it was like faster than Owe. So, I mean, if you can link this guy to the Ravens and have Owe on one side, Ojabo on the other, that would be, whoo. I'd tell you, I get my popcorn ready for that. And so I think this guy, he brings a lot. He's got the previous experience with the Ravens. I think I went through his resume the last time we were on the show. And I feel like he was of course, he was a defense coordinator for Michigan. We know that was recent, working with John Harbaugh's brother, Jim. And then he was also previously in Baltimore as a linebacker, a defensive back, and a defensive assistant from 2014 to 2020. They keep saying he's already here. He's the guy. He's the choice. But nothing's sealed yet. Nothing. There's other people that are being interviewed right now. You already know the other ones that we talked about. The Cowboys secondary coach, Joe Witt. He like said, he was the guy who coached up his defense to have 26 interceptions and 34 total turnovers last season. That was a league high. I mean, Falcons defensive assistant in 2007. This guy's got the experience to come forward and be that defensive coordinator for Baltimore. And then, of course, there's Joe Cullen. Joe Cullen is still high in the runnings right now and being interviewed, coming from the Jacksonville Jaguars, but we used to be with the Ravens. These are guys who know the scheme, who know the system, who know the aggressiveness. So you definitely have to look at guys like that. Chris Hewitt, who, was with the Ravens for that Super Bowl team, and he was a pass defense coordinator back in February of 2020. So, I mean, come on. He's got experience. Jim Leonard, who actually had on the field experience. Sometimes it doesn't translate, and sometimes it does. But I think Jim has that cerebral mind to be able to handle that defensive play con. But I still like to see some of his formations and what he has to bring to the table there. So he played for the D in 2008, and then he had a couple of seasons with Wisconsin. So I want to go back and look at some tape from him in Wisconsin. But like I said, there's another candidate, and this one I'm kind of favoring because he's worked with some LSU players. And we have an LSU player that could use some fine tuning for sure, and that is Patrick Queen. So when it comes to Pat Queen, he's wild. He is raw, and he just goes and shoots it, man. Like I said, if he got to sit back and use his awareness, it's probably not happening. But if he is a guy who he just like, all right, this is the guy you got to shoot. I need you to go and get that running back. Boom. He's going to do some running back blitzing and blow some stuff up. If he's got to go after the quarterback, he's pretty good at blitzing the quarterback. Sitting back is not normally his thing. So I'm thinking Caldwell can bring that to the table for the Ravens because he was the Eagles coach from 2008 to 2009 as their defensive quality control type coach. And then he moved over to the linebacker coach in 2010. He's worked with the Cardinals from 2013 to 2014 as the inside linebacker coach. Then he went to the Jets. And of course, how Jets life is. It's just, it hadn't been great. It hadn't been glorious, But he was the assistant head coach and the inside linebacker coach from 2015 to 2018. And then he goes over and flourishes and wins a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from 2019 to the present as the inside linebackers coach. So he worked with some Pro Bowlers, some big-time names. We have Devin White, Levante David, and Kevin Minter. So, of course, he likes his LSU guys. But Devin had 4 Pro Bowls, and then Levante David, it was a 3-time All-Pro. So he knows how to coach that position. I want to see what he does with the rest of the team. Would it be nice to have him as a defensive inside linebackers coach and then have McDonald as the defensive coordinator? That would be great. But we know that's not going to happen because we're looking, Mike Caldwell is looking for that upgrade. And if he doesn't get that upgrade to defense coordinator, more likely he's going to stay in place. So let's move forward here. What are your thoughts on that? Just go ahead and let me know. I know Ishmael says McDonald for me. He wants to roll with McDonald. And I think that's a good choice. I think it's nothing wrong with going with McDonald because he's got that Ravens continuity, and like I say, he's just going from one Harbaugh to the other, so he kind of has an idea of how the Harbaugh mentality is. It's just he's going to have to deal with there is a different personality there. If you look at the difference between John and Jim, there are big time differences, but I think they are learning from each other. I think they do a lot of crosstalk, a lot of chat, and I think that they have to learn each other's style of coaching. And I think John picked up some things when he got Lamar on board because he had to recognize that he could not be that full-on dictator the entire time because it just did not match well for these young personalities, these young kids who want to know why to everything. They want reasoning, they want transparency. And if you're not there with them on that, then of course you might end up having some type of rebellion from your team. And I think Jim Harbaugh has an understanding of that better than John, or at least how John did before. John's just got to find that balance. He's still got to have some type of way of being that dictator that he needs to be to get things done, upholding his standard, making those tough decisions in clutch situations. And then he's also still got to be able to have that piece of the player's coach to be able to have fun, to recognize how important they are to the team, show them that, let them know that they're important, listen to them, and then make decisions based off of what he believes is best for the team. But it ultimately boils down to making those decisions and building that trust with the team. And so we're hoping that he can do that with the team, whether it be McDonald or if it be Caldwell or whoever he hides as a defense coordinator. Ultimately, he still needs to build the trust with each side of the ball. And to be honest, I think with Wink had that trust of that defense. Those guys would have completely went to war for him, and no matter what the situation was, because they truly loved Wink. You could see by some of the comments on Twitter that they had mad love for Wink. They felt that, hey, this might have been a mistake. I know that they're going to miss that guy because he was definitely a players type coach, and he can go lead men. I truly believe that he'll be able to go forth and get him a head coaching job. He might get a defensive coordinator job this year. Maybe with the team if he can't get the interview with the Giants or get it done with the Giants. I think that he'll go and get a defensive coordinator job and do well in the league because I mean when you're blitzing, most people can't respond to it very well. Look at Flores. Flores teaches a very nice zero blitz scheme, and he's going to have a job pretty soon here as a head coach as well. And I think the Giants for either one of those would be a very good pick. Hang on just a second. I'm waiting on Kam Ru to get out of this traffic because he's stuck in traffic. He said he would be home 7 minutes, but that's cool. We're gonna move forward here to the next question. So Ishmael says, edge, outside linebacker. Yes. When it comes to edge and outside linebacker, you want to have those one-on-one matchups won. You want to have those one-on-one matchups won, and you got to go shopping in the draft for those because Eric Costa has his mentality of who he wants on his team, and he's got to save some money because with $9.4 million in cap space right now, it's not looking good. There are ways to open up to about 31 million, but he's going to have to make a lot of cuts, a lot of choices, big time decisions, and it might hurt some Ravens feelings because he's got to make those decisions to save money because he's got to pay for a Ferrari pretty soon here. Let's see. We talked about the other candidates. I talked about those already, and we talked about Mike Caldwell. And then there was a piece I was trying to get to so that we could talk about with Kam Ru. Did I do my homework? But that is definitely going to have to wait until the next show because we're waiting on Kam Ru, or not the next show. We'll wait on until Kam Ru gets here. But if you have any questions, please place them in the comments. And since we're waiting, we'll just go ahead and talk about how y'all can best support the channel. So supporting the channel for me really just means getting those subscriptions. So if y'all can, get either hit the like button, hit the subscribe, smack the bell, appreciate it. That'll let you know when the next time I'm on. Sometimes I'm on late. Sometimes I'm on first thing in the morning. Sometimes I just get up on a Saturday and say, hey, let's get it. Let's go. I got to coordinate with the family and whatnot. But, hey, I appreciate everyone that comes through and just has some fun with me here. Also, if y'all want to support the channel in a different way, then you can go ahead and look down at that little ticker going across. And right about there, go ahead and look at it. That Couch Raven. It's this just $ Couch Raven. You want to buy me a soda for work or a energy drink? I'd really appreciate it. That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, let's go over to these comments and see what y'all got here. So that sweater. Oh yeah, this is the Lamar Jackson New 8 Era apparel, or New Era 8 apparel. So I've just been having fun. When I first I heard about the New Era 8 apparel, I was like, I gotta go get it. I gotta go get this sweater. And supposedly it goes to support the African wild dog, which I think is an endangered species, and that's it. His entire corporation goes to support the African wild dog because I think they get shot because the hyenas. I guess the hyenas are the ones that are the bad dogs, and they're going out there just killing everything, cows and everything on a farm. But I guess the African wild dog is not like that, even though this doesn't look very innocent at all. But I just thought it was pretty cool. They did terrify my kids for a little bit, but that's okay. There's one of my kids right there. It's all good. She's got laundry to switch out, and that's fine. All right. So when it comes to questions here, Adit says, is McDonald's a potential Harbaugh replacement in the future? Also, it's going to be weird to see groups of Ravens fans and pundits and players who are older than the DC. McDonald is only 34. When it comes to the game of football now, it is fully a creative game now. And when it comes to the creative minds, us old dogs, we ain't it. And I say old because I am about to be 39 in I guess a month and 13 days or whatever. Or was it 15 days, something like that. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But it's a young man's game. And when it comes to coaching, when you got those fresh concepts that actually, and you can get men to lead by your coaching, by your ability, and you ain't even that old. Oh, you got a long way ahead of you. A good learning scale, so you can learn the old game and learn the new game. You can bring the Madden concepts to the table, confuse people, have the new concepts come through. It's going to be nice to see him come through and lead these young men like that. Sometimes, as Aaliyah say, age ain't nothing but a number. Even though R. Kelly might have been her producer. That's not neither here nor there. So. Tough Puppet was good. So we really might be hiring the guy whose defense full of stars get ripped apart by Georgia. Hmm. Can you elaborate on that? Just go a little bit further into detail. Let's go back to Dietz. As far as potential replacement, I mean, Harv's looks like the deal is signed for an extended period. I mean, there's no other longer tenured coach than Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick than Harbaugh right now. So he might be with us for the foreseeable future. But I believe if they get rid of him, I mean, there's other better coaches on the table. You got to look. Sean Payton is taking basically a year. He may take a year off. He stepped away from the Saints, and the guy's a really good coach. I mean, you can see him coaching up talent when he just didn't have it there. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's got that winning mentality, and I think he was the one that said, "Just do your job" before Belichick started his "Just do your job" slogan. And of course, both of them ended up winning Super Bowls when you recognize when they had that slogan as their main theme. All right, but yes, that coaching search could be wide open, and then at the same time, do you want to lose the mentality of Harbaugh, the continuity of Harbaugh within this organization? Honestly, what does that look like? That looks like a person who, like I said, he does things differently than other coaches in the league. Right now, everybody else is worried about the high-powered, souped-up offense, and Harbaugh's like, that's not what we do here. We run the ball and we play solid defense. And that is to counter everything that everybody comes to the table with. They have to spend more time preparing for the Baltimore Ravens week by week than they do any other team because all those other teams love to sling it and they don't like to run it as much. Baltimore loves to run it, as you know by the last 3 seasons. Baltimore has been beast in the rushing attack, and I think 2 out of those 3 seasons they went over 3,000 yards. That's something that hadn't been done since 1978. So this is a team that loves to run. All right. So anybody got any comments here on that? It is when it comes to rushing the ball, Baltimore is pretty solid. And when we get those running backs back, you better believe things are going to be awesome. They're going to just be amazing. You're going to see things open up for Lamar a little bit more because of what we're doing on the ground with the other guys. So I know it's going to sound weird, but it sounds like what we're going to do when those running backs come back, when you get J.K. Dobbins back, when you get our guy Gus Edwards back, it's going to be running to set up the run a little bit. This might upset some wide receivers in situations, but to be honest, so what? Yard's a yard. Whether you get it on the ground or whether you get it in the air, a yard's a yard. And anybody who comes to this organization has to have the unselfish mentality of recognizing that they're not going to be a top tier Devontae Adams type of wide receiver. They're going to get theirs, but it's not going to be magnificent. To have 2 players go over 1,000 yards receiving this past year was different. It was definitely different than what we're used to seeing. But as you can tell, like, hey, with those type of results, we're having shootouts with teams. So we need to make sure that we slow this thing down, still win that time of possession battle, and still get on the board, but more on the ground, make it more of a balanced attack. And I know that people want to see their high flying type of offenses like Green Bay, but honestly, that's not Baltimore's style. It's just not it. They need to go back to that 2019 form. I would love to see 3 tight ends on the field. Who are those tight ends going to be? Of course, Mandrews and Boyle. Yeah, those are 2. But the other one, I'm not sure. It's going to be wide open. I'm hoping that competition goes off pretty well because Baltimore had some competition last season. I'm looking forward to seeing that come back to camp and see how that goes. All right, Tough Puppy says, Michigan's defense had a lot of NFL players on it. They got destroyed by Georgia, and it's McDonald's job after all. Okay, so I mean, one game it's one game. Sometimes you just have that off game. You've seen it with the Ravens. They just go hot during the regular season, go 14-2, then come in and just completely lay an egg or crap the bed in that one big game. And then maybe the moment was too big, but Georgia was a beast, man. Did you see the talent on the field against Alabama in a national championship? There was speed all over the place. They were making big hits. They really came and wanted it. They were hungry. So you got to, I think they, you have to think about the mentality when you come into a game. Are they going to be able to handle that big level of success at that moment? But we're not trying to hire the entire defense. We're just hiring this coordinator, and he's going to have to work with different talent. I don't know if that talent's going to be better or worse, but I'm thinking like, look, he can teach different skills, and we can have decent results when it comes to that defense. But I'm looking forward to seeing him run that cover two man and also run the cover four because normally you don't see Baltimore running cover four. You're usually seeing them running these man zero blitzes, some cover three, but the cover three zone is getting eaten alive across the middle. Hopefully that McDonald has an answer for that. Let's see what else you got, man. So don't see why we like him so much. Besides, he's another friend of Harbs. You don't like the friend bandwagon, do you? The thing about Harbs, he does make some smart decisions, and for the ones that get screwed up, he tries to rotate his friends around and try to make the best decision that way. And I know a lot of people were clamoring, wanting his head on a spit for this season, but I still think this is a mulligan. This has got to be a full-on mulligan season when you have so many starters that got hurt. Injuries are part of the game, but nobody expected this many to be out. So you can't blame Eric DeCosta. Y'all leave Lacey's account alone. Y'all sitting here coming after her head like crazy too. She's been blocking everybody. But you have to look at it like, hey, Eric DeCosta did everything he could to build a roster that was a winning one this season. He did it exactly how it was supposed to be done. It just nobody expected this many bad things to happen to a roster. See, a tough puppy says Baltimore's scheme isn't going to win us a ring. If we don't fire Giro, I'm not looking forward to the season. And since he's not fired, my guess is he's staying. Get ready for another disappointing end. I highly disagree on this. I think a lot of people are really wanting Giro's head. I'm one of those people that I like consistency. I like the opportunities to fail and learn. This was a failure this season, but I think there's an opportunity to learn for Giro. I think he needs to be able to sit down with the two guys, with T. Martin, with Keith Williams, and of course they hand over a little bit more control of that passing game, and their approach together can be a solid attack. And some people are saying, revert him to run game coordinator. I'd be okay with that, but I just think he needs to keep that piece that's in the house. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Our guy is here. If he gives me the thumbs up, I'm going to go ahead and let him in the room. Cam, are you ready? Kam Ru? You good? All right, we're putting you in.
Okay.
What's good, man?
Man, I'm sorry, bro. I apologize, man. I got here, and after I text you, I got here, and I forgot that my computer is updating. I have it back, and that took a minute, and I don't know. I'm here. I was like, should I just listen on the phone, or I was like, you know what? I'm gonna post something. I'm gonna throw something on the story.
Yeah,
let folks know that
So we've been going over a couple of things, talking about it, Baltimore's coaches, and welcome to the show, man. Tough Puppy's been putting a lot of comments up here. He's saying basically Giro does nothing right. He don't even think he's a great in the run game. To be honest, I'm like, wow, that people like to take these shots when people are down. What do you think about that?
I think we discussed it last week. Like, it's kind of hard when your passing game went from 27 in 2020 to 13, and then you still in the top 5 in the running game. It's kind of hard to like, hey, you got to go. That's the only thing. Like right now, I think my biggest thing is that I'm happy. I know a lot of people aren't happy, but I'm happy Hobbs is still there. Like I was telling you in the grave, like if we lose him, who gonna replace him? Like he's one of the best. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's Hall of Fame coach. He's one of the best coaches and by far the most winningest head coach that we've ever had. And as far as playoff history, I think only two coaches have won more games than he has, and I think that's Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. So it's kind of hard to replace all of those good things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Did you talk about the D coordinator?
We did. We can go back through it because you might be able to add some context to that. We were talking about McDonald being the front runner, but is it sealed? So what are your thoughts on that? I think I gave mine already, just basically saying the schemes that he runs and how I like what he runs because it's a slightly difference between he runs a little cover 2 man and then he runs some cover 4 and he likes the one-on-one matchups, but he leaves one linebacker in the middle, so that might be susceptible to the run, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, they run this pretty much the same scheme. They ran the same scheme at Michigan, more or less. They
Uh,
went.
Not the same as Baltimore. From what I was looking at, like the Ohio State game, it looked like he ran a lot of 4-1, and it looked like Wink runs a lot of zero,
Right,
or either running a 0 or a 5-2.
right. I mean, I think he has a lot in his bag because he came in. I know his history as far as him coming in as an intern in 2014, but a lot of people think that because I think Hutchinson said that he took a lot of the schemes from Baltimore and brought them there, which is just helping to accelerate some of the thought process for some of the kids that's playing in college. But
Yeah,
it's not all Wink system. Like
yeah,
we got to be clear, y'all. This is not it's the Baltimore system. Just like the New England system has the New England system, it's the Baltimore system. This has been the same system, just different coordinators since Rex was there.
yeah.
One time we were in a real 4-3 was when
Like Greg Madison or something like that.
yeah when Lewis when Marvin Lewis was the D coach.
Okay, yeah, that definitely brings it back. And I think Rex was running a 4-6.
Yeah, so
And
he brought that the old Bears game. So it's like, it's still that rush linebacker has always been a hybrid. He's always been either he's rushing or he's jumping back. It's always going to be that rush linebacker. So the scheme is not all Wink, but if you want to say that, we have to remember he was a secondary coach, the assistant secondary coach under Dean P. So he's been there with both of them. So he can probably put his own stamp on it with his own idea.
I think Baltimore, I think Tough Puppy saying it does McDonald run a 4-3 scheme. Well, if he ran a 4-3 scheme, that completely flips what Baltimore does on his head because Baltimore runs a 3-4 because we like to have those 3 down linemen with our 4 linebackers out there. So it definitely would mix some things up. Honestly, our defensive ends and pass rushers would benefit from that, but at the same time, we would definitely be hurting because of the transition.
Yeah, because if we go down a lot, like just looking at the front 7 right now, without free agency or what have you, we only have 3 outside linebackers, I believe, that signed. That's Ferguson, Oway, and Dalen Hayes. And truly, Ferguson is not an outside linebacker. He's never been an outside linebacker.
Yeah,
I've been frustrated with that because people always pick on him like, oh, he's not getting enough sacks, but he's not. He's a DN. He should have been a 5 technique. If we were in a 4-3, then I could see him on that edge all the time. But he should be going. He shouldn't be dropping back. He should be going forward every time. He should never be dropping back. I've always been frustrated with that. I don't understand how he's even played. He's gotten better as time is going by, as far as like playing the outside, as far as playing like towards the pass. And you have, of course, the biggest difference from rookie to second year, as far as like playing the edge, and how we like to play the edge, and the linebackers, the outside linebackers, they gotta seal that edge, they gotta complete it. So he's done better in that. But this year, he didn't have any sacks this year. He had 2 last year. He had 2 his rookie year. But still in all, he's never been. It bothered me the fact that when we got him, he was standing up. I never thought he was an outside linebacker.
You think he should have been like a Jihad Ward, huh?
Yeah, I think they should have had him. I think they should have had him there. They should have had him, and on top of that, he should have been. You can tell who he's learned the most from. He always talks about when they speak to him. He always talks about.
I think Tough Puppy, he agrees with you here. He agrees.
He's in high school. Excuse me, at Louisiana Tech, he was a DN. He never stood up, bro.
Yeah. That's what he getting there. He was getting the money over there when he was doing exactly what you were doing, or you were saying he was doing. That's when he started like getting those sack records, NCAA sack records from Suggs.
Yeah.
Let's go back over here to Lisa real quick. She says, hey, can you see Tony Weaver as a DC because he played with the Ravens, back when we won the Super Bowl back in 01 or 2000, and then being familiar with the defense. I think honestly, when you've played it, I think it's easier to recognize. But of course, there were so many different changes from
Yeah,
here to now. I mean, we were dealing with Rex Ryan, we had Nolan back then. I mean, you had Singletary on the squad. There was a lot of really good defensive line coaches there, and maybe he got a lot of that information. He can bring that to the table, be solid. But what do you think?
I think I think he would be an excellent D coordinator. I mean, I think he got a bad. I mean, I don't want to say he got a bad rep, but he didn't get a fair chance at the Texans. They were falling apart when he became the D coordinator. That's when Bill O'Brien got fired. They were who didn't they traded off Hopkins. Like he didn't get a real he truly didn't get a fair chance.
Yeah,
But
because I mean that was just a dismantled team, and they still experiencing the pain from all of that.
but, but at,
Houston going to have dark years for at least a good 2 or 3 more years.
but at the same time, um, remember he was the defensive line coach there
Yeah.
before he became the D coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
He was J.J. Watts, and two-time defensive player of the year. He was doing something right, coaching him up and the rest of that defensive line. So, oh, here you go.
He said, "Give him a pass for the Texans for sure."
Yeah, we give him a pass. You gotta give him a pass.
That was a horrible team. Honestly, I think everybody deserved a pass when it came to that daggone mess there. Let's see here. I think Tanja. I got her name right now because it's with a J. You sound that J out. Tanja Bowman. She said, "Is that a she? I think that's a she." We have seen enough to know that Giro is limited in his creativity. There is no vaults. The league has changed. We have to pass the ball more, open it up. We cannot run it to a Super Bowl. See, I don't know. I don't know. I think
that part, T, she might have lost me on that. Well, not lost me. You got to remember, everybody seems to be a passing team until they get to the playoffs, and then all of a sudden they toting that rock.
Yeah, I mean the 49ers did it. They went all the way to the Super Bowl with against the Chiefs the first time. They lost, but at the same time it wasn't on Jimmy Garoppolo's arm. It was on a magnificent ground game where they could just put any running back they had in there and they would beast them.
Behind us, right, is the second best running team.
Yeah, it's just they can run it pretty well, and they got a great defense. That's the Harbaugh. That's really what ultimately Harbaugh was wanting is a really solid defense and a top tier run game. And honestly, I believe you can't do everything else that everybody else is doing, especially if you don't have that talent at quarterback. And I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's not talented. I'm saying Lamar Jackson is not Pat Mahomes, and that's a fair assessment. He's a different animal, different beast. Saying like you can't say LeBron and Curry are the same people. They have a totally different way of how they win, but they win.
Yeah.
And I think that they have to look at Mahomes is Mahomes, and Jackson can't be Mahomes. He's not going to be there sitting back, dropping back, close to 50 times a game on average. No, that's not him. They got to forgive themselves for even thinking that this is how this scheme is going to look. No,
you don't want to take the talent that Lamar has is like phenomenal, and you don't want to take that away because he sometimes is like the fastest person on the field. Number one, and number two, when he's on, and he's done stuff that even Patrick Mahomes hasn't done. When he had the game against Indianapolis, nobody in NFL history, has ever thrown that many passes and made that many completions at one time. Like I think he only missed like 2. No.
Okay. Oh my God. So yeah, Nate Peterman, Andy Dalton, man. So I mean, Nate Peterman does a great YouTube video, but that boy throws some picks. And the red rifle, it's a completely different breed. He's got our number for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like 4th down. This guy just turns all the way up. Like, hey, I scored the last 3. Is it 4th? And the game's on the line? I got you, fam. It's like he is something else. But yeah, it's just they have to recognize that Baltimore does things differently. Everybody else is going right. We're going to be those people that are ice skating uphill.
Yeah.
And it's going to look great on the ground as long as you're willing to accept that. And that's the thing. We had a mulligan this year. They get the good running backs back. If Giro is back, they continue to build a scheme to run to set up the run, to be honest, because that is what they do. But the difference this time around is that we're having receivers that are developing and that are getting better. This time we don't have to go into the draft
Right.
looking for wide receivers saying, hey, that is a top priority for us or whatever. There are gonna be other people that are just spoiled and they're gonna think that we need wide receivers and they're gonna think, oh, Julio, no,
We
no,
look
no.
if anything you want to take a positive out of the season, this past season, well, this season, still this season, is the fact that we were forced to put the ball in the air, and we were forced to find out what each one of those receivers are capable of doing. We were forced to do that because we could not do what we normally do. We couldn't run the ball, and everything was on Lamar. So sometimes you think you gotta, I want to forgive him about the turnovers because that's not him. We know that in the past. That's not his thing. As far as throwing a whole bunch of interceptions. But if everything is on your back, you got to make every play. Sometimes, sometimes you get in your own way. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think he started to realize that at one point in time, but maybe he didn't. When Bruce Irvin was telling him, like, you don't have to take what they give you. You don't have to take everything. But the funny thing is, the way that what Lamar had to learn is the same thing that Patrick Mahomes had to learn. Mahomes wanted to take all the big plays. He had to learn to chop it, to cut it down.
Yeah.
Now the same thing with Lamar. He just had to, he has to learn the same thing.
Yeah, you gotta learn that intermediate passing is key right now because if you don't learn that intermediate passing, it's gonna be a problem because defenses are running that cover zero with them sitting 10 to 15 yards back, daring Lamar to try and throw that deep.
This is the thing. I just want to clear this up.
Yeah.
When we have to remember that is not Lamar's fault as far as the scheme when it comes to cover zero. That if I'm gonna blame anybody, that's all on coaching. That portion, because if you watch the game, Joe Burrow looked like a hero. He didn't have a great game. I don't get anybody he threw one down at the end of the game to Chase. He did not have a good game. Those receivers though, Chase and T. Higgins, ball. Every time they went cover zero, all they did, and they did the same thing, because it's pretty much the same defensive scheme as Flores. With cover zero, everybody was blitzing. And you know how we like to do cover zero, we press.
Yeah, they press.
They gave 10 yards.
It was smart. It was such a brilliant scheme.
Right. Same thing Miami did. You know what Burrow did? Soon as the call was this. Soon as they do that, throw it to Chase.
Yes, 50-50 ball.
And they didn't even take a step off the line of scrimmage. It's like one step, boom. That's it.
Yep.
That should have been it. And or we could have just moved the line. You move the line. Move. And we talked about that one time when move them all out the pocket. Don't let them just stand there. If you're trying to make a bigger play, move them out the pocket.
Yep.
That portion really is really on the coaching because
that's on Roman. I mean, it's I think it's a combination because at the time they had mesh,
right?
And if they would just ran simply the old high school scheme, simply having you got one player on the slant and you have the other player doing basically a little bubble to the flats, and then if you're doing a read option, those corners are going to have to bite on something at that particular time, which is going to leave something wide the heck open. They need to run something along those lines, and also they need to go back to the 2020 scheme to where they were putting a player in motion to pull that man out the way.
We weren't doing all that stuff. Everybody was stalemate. Nobody was in no motion. Nothing was going on. That's why I say it's on that portion is on the coaching because you could have told them, look, somebody, and even as the receiver, you have to recognize this. It shouldn't just be on as the quarterback. You have to all right. They blitzing. Why am I going to run my full route? He's not going to have time.
Yeah.
Somebody should be doing an option route. Giro didn't change the system until, as far as to a quick passing game, until we played Green Bay.
Yeah.
That way they couldn't come up. That's why everybody was like, well, why Hollywood had 10 catches and only had 40 yards? Because everything, they took away the deep. They brought everybody 5 yards. But just that. Now, Chase Young is built totally different than.
Yeah, they won't be able to do that this year. They won't be able to do that this year because we're gonna have a ground game.
Yeah.
Let's go back in here, talk to these guys here. Engraven got some dad jokes. Soon, when the Ravens fans ask for fast food, we'll be able to say we got McDonald's at home. That's a tie to me and my video of we got Bateman at home. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And so it looks like they want to know what's your take on Antonio Brown.
I don't. Well, as far as him coming to the Ravens, that's not happening.
Yeah.
That no, it's not. It's nice that it's a beautiful thing that he has that much love for Lamar, but we know he's not going to come. But a big part of me is as an athlete from playing ball. I never played professional. I played in college, but the way that the coach, if somebody speaks to you as a grown man, and I really had to listen to because I wanted to hear both sides. Yeah. But I really wanted. I watched I Am Athlete when he was being interviewed by Brandon Marshall, and what he said was, holds true. Like when somebody, he said he knew exactly what he was doing. You tell me to get the F out of here, and I'm representing who you are, and I'm hurt. He's going he wears it. He. This is not a corporate job, right? This is the entertainment. Mm-hmm. So, but they're still human beings. So the way he wears his heart on the sleeve. Mm-hmm. So if you say something out of pocket, he feels like, what he was trying to break down. If you haven't seen it on I Am Athlete, you need to watch it. It's really good. Yeah. He didn't get shot. He didn't want to get shot up with the, whatever the drugs is, to keep you going, because you're playing every sport, man, especially football, mostly any contact sport, you playing to get hurt. You're going to, unfortunately, most players get hurt. Not all, but it happens.
It's just, I like when I saw that episode and I looked at, because remember he put all these text messages out saying, hey, I'm having emergency surgery or having some surgery done.
Right.
But he's on I Am Athlete with both shoes on. You know what I'm saying? Like when you be in like a boot rehabbing or something along those lines. I mean,
I don't think he was going. He probably. I think that probably was just like that was BS. That part was BS. But
yeah, and so it's like, what do you believe with this guy?
Yeah, but what he was breaking down, what he was saying on there, and I'm sure Bruce. It's hard for me to take Bruce Arians' side when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. When I seen him put his hands on other players, he just got fined.
Yeah, he was smacking dudes upside the head. But he was trying to pull a dude off the pile. I think that was a big mistake. I think it was a mistake by Bruce.
Right.
I think he got emotional and was just like trying to let him know, like, hey, bonehead,
Yeah, but you grab the player or you get in front of him and talk to him. You don't.
Yeah, you can't smack a grown man. That goes back to leading millionaires. You can't sit here and treat millionaires that way.
Right. So he I don't know. He just his tactics are wrong. Like he's just not doing it right. And then they didn't want him there. And I understand. Like I said, I understood where he was coming from. Do I believe that he handled it the proper way? No. But if you've ever been put in that situation, in any situation, any form of a job, if you've ever been put in a situation where you've been tested to the highest point, you don't know how you're going to respond. That I can contest to because it happened to me.
Oh yeah, same here. I flipped out on a Fulbright Colonel.
Oh yeah,
my job, and I got PCS to a pretty bad. I got PCS to a pretty bad place.
Yeah.
After I kind of flipped on a Fulbright Colonel. I mean, I was in the right.
Right.
I lost that emotional flexibility, and it cost me big.
Yeah, I was working for. Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was working. I just got home from college. Right. I just moved back up. I was in school in Atlanta. I went to American University down there. I transferred down there from Virginia Union in Richmond. And after I was done, I moved back up to Jersey. And I got a job it's called public service, public gas and electric. And I was working there. And you're doing, answering calls. I needed a job for the time being. So you answer calls, doing telemarketing and anything like that. So I wasn't doing it the proper way. The terminology wasn't all correct. So there was a supervisor that was I had my manager, and then you got the higher up. I think they were involved. She and him they had some type of thing going on. Anything. Long story short, he would just always take shots at me, taking shots at me. I would let it ride because I'm trying to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get trained, and while I was being trained, I was with all the old heads, and I was being trained by them. So he went over there. He said something slick while I was over there learning, and one of the guys turned around and cracked a joke on him. So you throwing shots, you gotta be able to take them. If you're gonna crack on somebody, you gotta be able to take the same thing. So I started laughing. So I guess he took offense to that. So the next time he saw me, I'm being trained, and I'm sitting with this young lady I used to have a big crush on at the job. And he said something, and bro, this is going on. This is going on for, mind you, for like 4 weeks. So I was cool for 4 weeks. When he said something to me in front of her, I forgot I was home. I forgot. It worked. I threw the headphones off. I said,
"What they say, flip mode is the greatest."
Yeah, I said, I'm back in Jersey City now. I'm like you ready to go? Like but. And I'm sorry, but I was just rambling on. But it just happens, man. It happens.
I feel you. Let's get to the next one. Cameron Butler Davis, man. I'm not familiar. Thanks for coming through. Hey, we'd love to see you again sometime. But thanks for bringing up this question. Considering all the injuries this year, do you think that this will be the year that Giro is officially on the hot seat if there are no improvements in the route tree and red zone creativity and cover zero adjustments?
I think he's going to be on the hot seat because of his play calling. Not because of. I think the run system is. He's one of the best at it. He's not. He's up there with the Shanahans. He has his own style. Yeah. I think because of Keith and T. Martin,
mm-hmm.
the route running is. I mean, you can see it in the receivers. They've all gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
And I'm just going on Hollywood alone.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten a lot better. I know he got a couple. He had 7 drops this year, but that wasn't above average. I think everybody's pressing on that.
Yeah, the team had 13 total drops on the season. They were in critical moments, and we left the season on a tough note with Hollywood, and I was a little emotional.
Right.
Like I said, I ain't control my emotions too well. I'm over here calling them B-roll and all this. But the love is still there, man. In fact, today I had to show the love. You know what I'm saying? I got my boy on right now.
He deserved that, bro.
I still love my guy,
Especially for some reason, they're like, I don't pay the man. But he's progressed so much each year. And you got to remember, he coming off a Liz Frank injury, coming into the league. And he's small. Yeah. So he's not coming in with, let's say, a good 200 pounds. This joke is, he came in, he played his rookie year playing at 157 pounds. Man, if somebody had hit him, he would have folded like a piece of paper. Yeah, that would he would. Well, that's the end of Hollywood. Would have been done, and he's still. And I think for me, I think it's smart. Sometimes when he goes there, everybody wants him to fight for a yard. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But Deshaun Jackson used to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a big guy.
Nope.
You got to be smart.
And Deshaun didn't have a complete game. He didn't have a complete game.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I think Hollywood does. I think he has it.
I think he's getting there. I think as soon as he starts to, like I say, we get past a few of those drops,
right?
He is able to run those comeback routes and put people on skates because he has such twitch, and he's been working on that all off season with those twitch teams over in Scottsdale, and then he's got the burner speed.
Yeah.
To be honest, if somebody sits back with that cover zero again with those 4 guys, I would like to test Hollywood speed. I would say, hey, test it. See if they can actually come back. And even if they sitting back that far, that boy's still fast as all get out.
Look, and this is the thing. He has some drops and some key moments, but he's balled out in key moments as well.
Yep.
And this year alone, he's had some amazing catches because sometimes the ball wasn't on.
Nah.
Snatching it with one hand. He's made some amazing catches. So everybody give him a little bit of love. He broke the curse, bro. If anybody, he broke the curse. We don't know if I'm hoping Bateman's going to be just as good, if not better. But everybody got to stay on the field to know that. So
Wilbur throwing shade again. He's saying he's not making any improvements. I think you got to go back and you got to go look at the Instagram. Like, go look at this guy, and like he grinds. He grinds harder than most receivers do during the offseason. He's one of those people that do have that Russell Wilson mentality and actually spends the money to improve on a trainer. Constantly figured out, hey, like how many routes can I run a day? How many hills can I run? How much can I bench press? What can I do to get stronger, get better? And it's every single offseason. It reminds me of some type of rocky workout that he is getting in. And then he comes to camp. Like I said, those hamstring issues, if he did not have those hamstring issues, but like injuries are part of the game. It's happened to Tyreek, it's happened to Devontae, all that. But it's like those speed drills. But he's coming back faster. He's coming back with more discipline when it comes to his route running, and he's got great coaches in the offseason and during the training camp. So I think he's definitely improved each year.
This is the thing that's funny. You're saying Andrews down, but nobody was saying that last year.
Yeah, they were saying he wasn't clutch.
Yep. So let's not. We're gonna ride the wave with the whole team, bro. Don't just ride the wave with one person. I love you, Will. I'm just saying, like, you just can't. Don't do it like that. Like, I love Mark Andrews. I loved when he came into the league.
Yeah.
But I had love for him when he wasn't showing up, because he wasn't showing up for the big games last year.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at it.
Yeah. He's saying he's making the improvements, but he's still not sure he's a complete wide receiver. I mean, and that's a fair statement. That is a fair statement. We know he's not 100% there. Well, because if he was, we'd be looking at a Tyreek Hill right now. He's not on Tyreek level. Tyreek is on a godly level, and it's going to be a while before Hollywood catches him. But
Tyreek sometimes, it took Tyreek some time to get there.
Yeah, and it's just
like that as a punt return and a kick return.
Mm-hmm. And it's like we got tools to get there. We got special abilities with these players. It's just we got to trust in what Baltimore does. Yeah. Ravens fans get so spoiled sometimes when they see that we win games. They don't but they want to win them in a certain way. They don't like the gritty, hey, we win or lose by 2 or 3 points. They want to see the blowouts because they watching these primetime games because they ain't got the NFL ticket. They watching all the primetime or they watching Baltimore games. And they're not seeing like, hey, not everybody in the league is this crazy shootout type of person or a game plan. And Baltimore hasn't done that. That's not their game plan. I mean, they had 1 year when Joe Flacco had 4,000 yards. And did it go well? No. It wasn't great.
This is the thing. Excuse my language. We so used to, I know Engraven probably on it, so we so used to having shit. Excuse my language. Now we getting some sugar. Now you don't know how to act. I had an offense like this. This is the Lamar Jackson effect, bro. As soon as he came in there, we start having the offense started popping off. We like you said, we weren't scoring points like this. Maybe with Flacco, probably the first game of the season. After that, everything tailed off.
Yeah.
Lamar got there, we were putting jokers in the hospital, like, boom, a game over by the third quarter. I know as a Ravens fan, I'm not used to that.
Nah.
I'm going to appreciate it. I don't want it, but when it's not happening, you gotta get your cardio up because that's what you're supposed to be used to be. With Ray and them, that's how you had to be. You had to have your cardio ready, bro.
Yeah.
Your cardio got to be up because you look watching the game like, it's gonna go down to the wire. Because we were all defense. But
and the thing now, like with Lamar, I guess if we go back to what Ravens fans, I guess some of these bandwagon fans, they come in, they saw the 2019 performance, they saw that Lamar was actually giving the defense a rest, and they came through refreshed, and they were able to play big because they had these long, extended drives to where they were just getting first after first, doing their thing. And then they start to see, okay, there's a little bit of regression here because, Lee started to catch on to a couple of things, but Lamar is still Lamar, and he's still going to shine. It's just not the way that they expect. They're expecting a progression into a Pat Mahomes-esque type of guy, but that's not him. That's not him. He's his own dude.
I want him to be him. I don't want him to be. Yeah. Like I love for Mahomes. I don't want him to be anybody but Lamar because nobody's like Lamar. Nobody.
I'm pretty sure that Andy Reid was flipping out when he saw Mahomes trying to do a Lamar Jackson impression this past Sunday.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
If you watch every playoff game and watch the regular season with Patrick, that's the only time he shows wheels.
Yep.
Every time in the playoffs,
Against the
I mean,
Titans, I remember that.
and he's quicker than people think.
Mm-hmm.
Every time in the playoffs, he's like, you know
Texas.
what? Either I'm going home or I'm not, and he'll take off in a minute. That's the only time he's done it. He did it the year they played. They lost and they lost to New England in the championship. He did it the year they won the Super Bowl. Remember, he had those two big runs, especially against Tennessee when he ran my man over to get the touchdown.
Yeah.
You know, and he's doing it now. As soon as he did that, every time I see Mahomes do that, I'm like, uh-oh, he in his zone. Because he don't do that on the norm. As soon as he starts doing that,
hey, real quick, we're just gonna say, look, I got 11 people in the room. Let me get 11 likes on the video. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe, smack the bell.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all coming through. Let's get to it. Tanja got something else here, and I think we need one more wide receiver with a big body like Anquan type from the draft for free agency. What do you think about that?
It'd be nice. I mean, that's what Miles is supposed to do. That's what Miles is there for. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. I know I would like to see. I honestly would like to see more talent.
I think so. He plays tall. This guy plays a big boy game. And
I'm the same way, bro.
Yeah,
that's how Bez was. That's how. What's the dude that had a drinking problem that went to Jacksonville? Blackman, I think his last name is.
Yeah, Blackman. Yeah, he came over from Oklahoma State.
Yeah, he when he went to and that's just not how Oklahoma State receivers are. They always play bigger than what they are. They always play taller than what they are. And
the thing is like, okay, well, if we get this guy, who has to take the seat back for them to get theirs? You know, that's the problem. It's like, okay, how many babies you gonna feed on this field and still be able to be excellent on the ground game? Let Rashad grow. And see Hollywood and Lamar have their gas station connection. I just don't understand where it fits.
I understand what she's saying because Q is a monster just alone, just wanting to do everything he wanted to do. But you don't want to take away from what's been going on now. Like I think we have the 6 receivers that we need. We don't. Hopefully, Miles gets another opportunity before it's too late.
Yeah.
You know? But
honestly, I think it's time. It's time for him to either to go or for them to recognize, hey, this guy could be something like a Darren Waller if they bring him to the inside. Right. He has the ability to block. We've seen that. That's why they brought him in the game. Let's see what he can do to get open. I know Oliver is there, but at the same time, like, I mean, if I'm looking at Oliver versus what Boykin can be.
Right.
I don't know. It'd be a good time, something fun to see at camp.
I mean, Josh Oliver shows us some stuff, so I think he'll be better next year.
This man said, "Man, not the gas station connection." He caught that. But you know what I'm talking about, man. They hang out. They besties. They over here taking photos, trussing it up over at the gas station, chilling. And I'm talking about they got the drippiest swag just to go hang out at a Conoco. I mean,
it's all good. Let him play. Now let him play. Go ahead. Now let him play.
Go back into this talk here. Tyreek says, or Tough Puppy says, Tyreek is faster and quicker. Hollywood will probably never be Tyreek. He don't need to be. That's the thing.
No,
he don't need to be. He is Baltimore's weapon. Right now, and it is
fast enough. That way. Hollywood is fast enough. We just seen him run away from folks. He don't need to be.
Yeah, he don't have to be Tyreek. It's been times when he got his own burn on. I mean, I know you saw that pass from McSorley. He sat there and just completely took off and put Fitzpatrick on skates.
Yeah, he did.
A touchdown. It wasn't even from Lamar.
He put him right on skates too.
Mm-hmm. The guy's got talent. He got tons of skills.
Yeah, I bet his family lives right down where I live. So I met him when he first got drafted. So it was like I was out as soon as I met him, I was like, man, you're a Raven, bro. You're a Raven.
I love it. I love watching that guy play, man. He's fun to watch, and you don't know exactly what's going to happen next with him because he just shoots so fast.
Yeah.
Here's Cameron Butler Davis saying, I give credit to Hollywood's improvement. There we go. His routes have gotten better, especially separation and putting on the pounds. Yeah. You can see him during the offseason lifting weights, putting on the weight because he wants to be durable for the rest of the season. He hit 1,000 yards as a former wide receiver. My goal was to catch the ball, score, and stay clean. Yeah, you get yours, you get what you can, and then you get out because you don't want to take that big old injury. Not everybody's going to be a Debo Samuel.
Hey, look,
Debo loved that contact. He can't wait for it.
y'all got to think about it like this. Think about even running backs. Think about the running style of Barry Sanders compared to, let's just say Derrick Henry. Barry wasn't looking for any contact. He was looking to shake you.
Yeah.
You got to think about it. It's just like a fighter. Some people hated
Mayweather.
I was about to say Mayfield. I don't know why that dude is thinking.
Yeah, Mayweather.
Mayweather. They hated Mayweather, but
I mean, I was one of those people that hated him, but at the same time, I went to look at his technique, and it was like, okay, the game has changed. It's not butterball type of Mike Tyson game anymore.
Look, every form, especially when it comes to just thinking about fighting, scientific, it's grown and grown. The science of it's grown and grown and grown. So in any form of martial arts, it goes from attack, how to attack, to counter attack, to move. You gotta be able to counter attack, but not get hit. The most frustrating thing that can happen when you play football or any fighting sport, or just fight in general, is swing or try to hit somebody and you miss, because you exhaust most of the energy. So how I look at Hollywood, I understand it. Like this year, he said, he turned up Phil before he was worried about getting hurt, and then after talking to Keith and talking to T, he was like, you may not be here, and they know because they played in the league and they ain't playing the league that long.
Yeah,
so they were like, they got in his ears like, listen, you may not be here, so you got to try. He tried, you tried, you get where you got to go and drop down. We need you for the next round. I mean, the next play. We don't need you go up there, you checking on somebody that's 225 and they put you down. So
yeah. It's like Tough Puppy got to head out, man. We appreciate your comments, man. Thanks for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so like he said, he's saying, hey, make sure y'all like and subscribe. I appreciate that comment as well. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like the best ability is your availability, and if he can do things to continue to make sure that he's in the game. Honestly, Amar's the same way. You got to get what you can get and then get out of bounds. And that was what he was doing in 2019. I think he needs to continue to. He needs to just go back, watch some of that tape, and recognize his greatness when he was just checking twice, getting those 10, 15 yards, and getting out of bounds. That he's at the top of his game.
Yeah, I think it's people in his ear trying to force him. Well, if he throw the ball this way, throw this. If he do this, just do you, bro. Do you. Nobody's like Lamar. Nobody. He's going to continue to improve.
Yep.
If you can add the way he was in 2019, the way he was in the beginning of the season, without the turnover, just chopping jokers up.
Yeah. So here's another comment from Cameron Butler Davis. Just like Emmitt Smith, he's living for the next play, just like Hollywood. But he'll put his head down to get that extra yard when necessary. We've seen that, in the Washington football team game. Right. You can see him spinning up and then trying to work for those extra yards. The Lions game, after the catch, after he gets those stick routes, those comebacks, boom, he was putting a foot in the ground and turning upfield. He's trying to do things after the catch, but he also recognizes, okay, hurry up and get down before they put their pad down. Right. And that's smart play.
Everybody remember he would have hit 1,000 yards way before then if he had was he cramping or just like his hamstring was bothering him in the Miami game, and he didn't.
I can't remember. I just know Bateman had to turn up, and he did well.
Yeah,
he was caught up.
Yeah, but the thing that I love about both of them, first of all, in this day and age, you need two number ones.
Yep.
You look at Kansas City. Now you even looking at Buffalo. Like Davis came out of nowhere. He was good his rookie year, but he's getting better. But the thing is, you need.
I think people they get frustrated whenever I say this, but I'm like, we have exactly what we need.
No, we do.
As far as the offense goes, you get an offensive line, great. But as far as the wide receiver core and the tight end core right now, we have what we need to be successful on the outside.
Yeah, we definitely have the talent, man. I want to one day when we get a chance, like go through each position and what's your grade on each position? Like, how do you feel about and who you think may be starting? I mean, we're not going to talk about quarterback. That's
a given. That's a given. Anybody, you'll see it on the Ravens page and was it the Raven? We Are the Ravens flock, and then
Yes.
the Ravens Nation page.
Right.
They constantly yapping about Tyler Huntley. Like after a couple of games,
Yeah.
I get it. His talent levels up there, but it is not Lamar-esque. He
Right.
was a stand-in, and as you saw the results of those games, he lost them.
And he still got to grow. He still got to grow as a quarterback anyway.
Yeah.
How do you feel about as far as do you think we're gonna get another running back, or is Justice Hill coming back? You think he's coming back?
I think Justice Hill will not be back. I think he actually made that clear. I think it was last offseason. He put a tweet out there that basically said, "I got to look out for me." And it was very clear, like, all right, this is not where he's expected to shine at anyway. I think he wants another opportunity somewhere else because
Right.
he recognizes what's in front of him. He knows there's two dogs in front of him. They're going to just ball out. He's just more of a scat and more of a guy who's going to catch it on third down or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Gus Edwards and J.K. are a perfect 1-2 punch combo.
Yeah.
If you go ahead and say, all right, we're going to sign Freeman to another year. I think that adds to that, and it's a good three-headed monster, and still takes a little bit more off of Lamar's plate,
Right.
or at least it confuses things in so much that they have to recognize that we have a threat on the ground with our running backs, and Lamar should be as a threat as well. But just remember, those guys are beasts in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
So as a running back core, I'd say that is a full-on A. This year.
I think that even if we don't bring back Freeman, I would like for us to at least get one back in the draft.
Yeah.
I would like it to be like a speed back, somebody that, like my man from Georgia, Cook.
Yeah.
I would like for it to be somebody that's just like, oh man, he's a home run threat because, and that he doesn't have to be an every down back. Obviously, he's not going to be every down back. He can just come in here on third down or whenever, sporadically, because we only got Gus for 2 more years.
Yeah.
Or it was a 2-year extension that they gave him.
Yeah, and I say, hey, we got a draft for the future. You know what Eric DeCosta is. He wants to continue to replenish the roster with the younger players so that he can, go out there and eventually go get a big fish. Because if he's doing it, huh?
If we go through what we went through this year again, at least we have somebody with some feet. You know what I mean? That
absolutely. At least one. Give me one dog out there. Give me a second round running back.
Yeah.
Who could flash, or let's hope we can get that undrafted free agent that comes through in the camp and has the fight to get to the top of a roster. That would be nice to see as well. Yeah. But having some type of insurance back there just in case we lose one of our guys this year who maybe comes back a little bit too fast off the rehab or something. We know it's not going to be a magnificent year for JK, but hopefully he doesn't get to push the entire load and they do a good balance of the 3.
Yeah.
I say 4 running backs, whoever that undrafted free agent or drafted pick is going to be, Gus and him, and then Lamar. Right. So hopefully that is enough of the rotation to make sure that they're all successful and stay healthy and on the ground. Like I said, running backs, I got to give them a maybe an A+ because of the fact that they're going to come back and you're going to see a huge step up in this game for 2022.
Now, within those first 3 rounds, I'm assuming we're going to draft the tackle. We're going to go O-line. We got too many guards. Like either you're going to keep Ben Powers or you're going to trade him, one of the two. Because I don't think he's starting next year. I think that it's going to be. Hopefully, we can get Bozeman back. That would be great if we can get Bozeman back.
I like Bozeman. And the thing about guards, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to guards, I feel like we can go later in the rounds.
No. I'm not saying draft a guard. I'm saying the fact that we are right now in the stable, we have
Patrick McCarry,
Kyrie Phillips, Ben Powers in Cleveland. Like you got 4 guards. One of them is going to start at left guard. I hope it's Cleveland. I think he showed enough. But then you got 3 more in the back. I mean, McCarry's just swing everything.
Yeah.
And then we don't have any tackles on the outside. We need to get one.
Oh yeah, I'd say even go cash in. Do like the 2007 or 2008 49ers and go tackle. If
Williams is different,
that'd be like full on insurance at that position.
But Williams is different, bro. It's a different animal. Like that's the best tackle in the league. We got to get somebody just in case. Like I mean, if we get Stanley back, great. But I'm saying as far as like Williams from San Francisco, he's been the best tackle every year of
Oh
his.
yeah, yeah. I
Even
think our Washington football team made a huge mistake there.
like, well, he didn't want to be there, so
Yeah,
that's another thing. But
yeah.
we I don't know if we should wait. I mean, I guess it'd be cheaper to draft if we would have to draft a tackle, but um, it's probably going to happen with those first 3 rounds. I really believe so. I don't want it to be our first round pick. I know everybody's wishing for a tackle, our first round pick, unless we trading up and we going within that 1 through 10 range, which we're not far out. And now we got 10 picks. You're not keeping all those picks, so you need to use some of that capital, use some of those picks, and make some moves. Like you got 5 fourth round picks, and like 2 or 3 third round picks.
I think like total, I think it's 11 picks total they got right now, so it's gonna be nice.
Probably gonna get more depending on what kind of contract.
Oh yeah, because Judon's gonna give him a nice little comp pick there. It's gonna be a higher comp pick.
But if depending on what kind of contract Deshaun Elliott gets, we might get more. Depending on what
those won't happen until next year as far as those comp picks.
That's right. I thought it was this season. But
let's go back over here. We was talking about did I do my homework?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Yes.
Homework, sir.
All right. So you were talking about Kyle Hamilton. I wanted to see what everybody was clamoring about. And I was excited when I went and watched the tape on this guy here. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like 6'4", 220. You see him, you see him on the field, you're like, oh my God, that is a 6'4", 220. That's beast.
Yeah.
This guy, he's from ATL, so he know about that. He know about that hard hitting. Yeah. I think he likes to live in the box. He likes to play down there. And honestly, I think transitioning to a linebacker wouldn't be a bad look for him.
I think he's too good as a free safety, bro. He played. They did a calculate. He played 70% of his snaps at free safety, 30% in the box.
Oh wow!
And did you see the play No, he can't be. He can't be a linebacker. Did you see the play? You didn't see the play.
I saw some heat-seeking plays. I saw he has a nose for the ball. If it's tipped, this guy is about to make a play.
No. Did you see the play against Florida State when he went from one hash all the way to the other side?
I missed that one.
Now, when you see that play, you're gonna be like, no, he can't play linebacker.
Yeah.
That was Sean Taylor, Ed Reed is that.
I saw a fast guy who was opportunistic. He had good awareness. He likes to shoot gaps like crazy. He knows how to wrap up. That's one thing I recognized was this is a great tackler, and that's why I was kind of speaking a little bit of linebacker there. Really good on special teams. I was looking at some of his special teams plays, and I mean the pop. Oh my gosh! When he hits you, I got on here. Hold up, I think I wrote soul snatcher.
Yeah, he gonna let you know he was there.
And then I guess they were talking about some stats on some of his highlights. They said he had 3 interceptions in 4 quarters, and I think they were determining whether or not that one was the 4th interception in 4 quarters of a game. I mean, just really knows where to be. Baltimore needs a replacement for Cocap anyway, because Cocap is now not going to be playing, on special teams. He's going to be on the sideline now. So this would be a really solid replacement if Baltimore was to, go ahead and take that shot on this guy. Right. But the thing about tall guys is the thing about tall guys. I mean, you can see it with Westry. Westry is okay, but Westry's 6'4". Westry may be fast, but what's up with the hips? Can they play that man coverage? Sometimes when needed, can they flip those hips? Tall guys typically have problems with the flexibility when it comes to that, and they may be fast, but at the same time, when it comes to playing that man coverage at that next level, it could be a slight issue. But good thing he's a safety. But I would prefer hey, if they brought him down and had him playing next to Queen.
Well, you can go big nickel and put him there, but he definitely would be. He's a center fielder by far. Like you see, bro, I really haven't seen. I can't really recall the time that I've seen somebody cover the field that fast. Like he was on the right hash mark.
Well, they gave him a player comp over at Walter Football. They said like a fast Cam Chancellor is what what their comparison was, and I think it's a decent one. I think he has more awareness. I think as far as ability to
His ball skills are phenomenal. His ball skills are phenomenal. That was the first time I heard that comp. The other comp was, like we talked about, Sean Taylor.
Yeah,
He's like the new version.
mm-hmm.
Piece to him. It was the other version was, someone said he hits like Cam Chancellor, but he has the speed and the ball skills of Earl Thomas.
Oh,
but that one I pretty much I agree with, because I've just never seen somebody on one side of the hash.
Yeah,
like I haven't seen it as a recent. And you cover the field, like the ball. He got to the second hash, right? He got to the left hash mark. The ball was going to the sideline.
Yeah,
The ball was already up in the air by the time he got to the hash. When I'm saying closing speed, he closed on it, got in front of the receiver, and picked it off, and did a little bit of toe jack swag. Two toes.
Two toes. I can't be saying toe drag on here, man. That's my brothers that come for me, you know. Yeah,
I was like, okay. I was sold when he was a rookie. When he was a freshman, I saw him play, and I had heard about him in Atlanta from my brother and my cousin down there. So I heard about him, but I never seen the kid play. But when he got to Notre Dame, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think Baltimore, they got to have something as an answer to, let's just say Jimmy doesn't pan out this offseason back with the Ravens. He said he wants to retire or play as a Raven. They said that was his two options. So if they don't bring him back, they need a replacement for co-cap and somebody to cover the tight end, because Jimmy ain't there. This could be that dude. Let's go over here to Marcus Peters. Let's talk about Marcus Peters, man. So
I'll let him go.
Yeah, I'm like $15.5 million is his cap number right now. But it's like, that's how much he's owed this year. His cap number is a little bit less. I think they can stand to make close to $10 million if they cut him. Now, I think it's the price of doing business in this league. We saw how we got roasted on the back end for 500 yards, an NFL record, or for Cincinnati anyway, with Joe Burrow.
Right. I
think it's worth the money. What do you think?
That, how many DBs have we had that have gotten injured and we kept, and they did so why? And you about to say, go ahead. The two that we talk about. Yeah. One of our favorite players, Jimmy, always get injured.
Yep.
Come back and they reconstruct. I mean, why not extend his contract? If you extend it, we stay $5 million.
Yeah. I say push it back a little bit. Like there's nothing wrong with pushing a little bit of money for a player that has still got talent.
Yeah, I mean, he got injured. Okay, it's his ACL.
Yep.
But other than that, he's not prone to injury. Like he hasn't had any injuries in his past history. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, he's not a big time injury guy, and I think honestly,
if the training staff, like we supposed to be good at, especially at this particular time at ACL, like recovery, the rehab, like he went through everything because he was on the sideline. I didn't hear about anybody else. This is when you know somebody loved football. When Peters was on the sideline for that Rams game, he affected the game from the sideline.
I think he got in Clark's ear, to be honest.
Yeah, I believe it because he affected the game from the sideline.
Yeah. I think he has that impact on the game. He's got those instincts. The ball skills he has are phenomenal. And honestly, if he starts to slow down a little bit, move him over to safety, this dude will be just killer.
Thank you.
Be a stone cold killer right there.
How many times I love my favorite player ever? How many times was that hurt? The hip, the back, and he still came back. Like you don't let greatness go.
Nah, you can't just let this guy walk out the door without at least trying to do something to keep this guy.
Nobody has more interceptions in the league.
Nope, not since he came in the league.
Since he came in, so you can't let that walk out the door. I don't look. Extend him Give him 2 more years on his contract, 3 more years, whatever you got to do. Get him there, and he wants to. He wants to be. He loves it here.
Yeah,
That's what you want. You want players that want to be here. That's why
absolutely.
I hope really they come to a conclusion with Bozeman. I keep hearing that it's like on 2 different wavelengths. Like he wants this, or maybe it's not him. I think it's what his agent is trying to push because
Yeah.
he probably played multiple positions.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's where the player wants to be. He wants to be here, and it's hurting him. But hopefully they can work something out to where like give Lamar some consistency. I don't think he's honestly, other than his rookie and his second year, he hasn't had consistency on the offensive line. That offensive line that we had his rookie year, Stanley, Bozeman, Matt Skura, what's my man?
Yonder.
Yonder.
Yeah.
Orlando. That was the same line we had the second year. That continuity carries over. It makes everything so much better. It carries over. We had that same line. They played the next year, and it was just fluent. You know what I mean? That's the thing. That's good.
Reg, what's up, man? Good to see you. You're late to the party, but you got here. We thank you.
Okay, we're gonna get ready. Go ahead.
You know what I said? Red's gonna bring it. He gonna bring it, man. But he gonna miss a lot of the good topics. We don't talk to Antonio Brown already. We don't talk about the coaches. We were just getting into Marcus Peters.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty good topic in itself. I think this guy's just got that Raven mentality. He needs to come back, and unless Baltimore wants to deal with Cincinnati, pretty much bending this over the wheelbarrow again, that I think they have to bring this guy back. You pay for your corners because that's what they do. That allows the defensive coordinators to come up with more creativity because they can trust things on the back end.
And they I know some people ask maybe we cut Peters to bring in Jackson from New England. First of all, you don't want to do that because you don't know what's going to happen. Jackson could be franchise tag. It's definitely going to cost a lot more money, and we need to take care of some other pieces. I know, like I said, I don't know if James is going to be the right tackle. I've never seen the guy play. I don't know. I mean, he's a Pro Bowl right tackle.
Yeah.
He
had about 62 starts with Miami Dolphins, and then he got hot and got over to Denver, and they gave him a really nice size contract.
Okay.
But once he got hurt, they invoked a clause to try and snatch that whole check from him.
Gotcha.
And then he tried to sue the mess out of him, but his talent level, I believe, was through the roof, and they saw that. It's just they're like, oh, Achilles injury, let's save some money, give me that money back.
You're right, because I don't know too much about him. I mean, I know he was a Pro Bowler at one time, but him not playing this year, it didn't. I don't think it was. I honestly don't think it was a bad idea for him.
Yeah, his cap number is phenomenal though. Right now, it's it's super cheap.
I'm expecting him to start. I'm expecting Stanley. Hopefully, if we still gonna have to draft again. We still gonna have to draft the tackle because you don't know what's going on with Stanley. But I expect him to start at right tackle. We should at least have half of that line secure. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you good, man? He's just saying we definitely need MP. He's a dog and a turnover guy. I think there's no argument when it comes to Peter, especially after seeing that game we got roasted in. But I think most of the arguments have just been around this whole business of. Hang on, let me pull up the topic because I feel like it's one of those ones that it brings hotness.
Yeah.
These two, there was an article on Russell Street Report, and it said one or the other, not both, when it came to Roman or LJ. And I was like, what? I just couldn't see it. I thought it's a package, to be honest, because they work well together.
Who said this?
Yeah, it was some writer from the Russell Street Report. They put an entire article together basically thinking that Roman is not good for LJ and that he needs to evolve into more of a passer, and Roman is not going to get him there and all this other nonsense, whatever. I didn't really take too much time to read it. I just saw the topic and I just went in and saw a few things, but to be honest, I just don't agree with the take at all.
Like I said, maybe he should come out of the box and be down there with Lamar. I mean, a lot of times I think that I know Bruce Irvin can probably be a great coordinator
Yep.
because he's there with him and he's talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
That helps. I mean, you in the QB's ear all the time. You showing him everything on the side. When he was playing, he's the one that's there. I understand that you want to coach from the box. I really think like it's a little different
Yeah.
Offensively coaching from the box opposed to defensively because really I don't think you have to be like on every defensive player. You got so many people down there that you can talk to. So I don't know. I mean, it teaches on, I guess. I mean, Jim Caldwell did it, right? He was in the box for a minute.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There you go. He said Roman is hot garbage. Can't involve QBs. Roman stays and Lamar is gonna run out of town. I don't think that's true, man. I'm sorry. I think
it's gonna be hard, man.
Saying at the podium, I honestly think Lamar is speaking like what he feels right there about Roman, because you got to think about it. When 2018, when Lamar got the start, they basically told Marty, "Hey, take a back seat. This game plan, it has to go through Roman, and Roman is really helpful with the ground game." And then it's like they just meshed and gelled. I think they got each other's back in this. I think they are there for each other in this situation. Now, receivers might hate Roman, but
that part's kind of hard though, because it's like when they interviewed Lamar, he was like, I don't know. Lamar not gonna ever throw nobody under the bus. He just that's not him. He's too G for that. He ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, he'll fall on the sword himself before he does throw somebody.
He ain't gonna do nobody like that. But one of the things I did really see is that like he was more comfortable. He was a lot more comfortable when we went back to that spread. When they played the Steelers, he was a lot more, and that was an offense that he rather run at this particular time.
Yeah,
and I really think that at this particular, if Roman's going to be there, I think he needs to find out what LJ likes. What's LJ? What's his body language?
Reg made me laugh.
Look, Reg's right about that. That's how I feel. Like his body language tell you otherwise. When he talk about. When they ask him about Roman, he always be like, "Yeah, coach, if he hit, that ain't my decision." Like he didn't say, "Oh, that's my man. This is his keeper." That's the only thing he didn't say. But it's hard to find somebody that, again, what was our offense rank? Like we were like number six.
Number six.
We number 6. So you can't fire that. That's like.
The numbers were there to fire Wink, but the numbers were not there to fire Roman.
Right. And then on top of that, he was willing to bend or just willing to open his mind to allow T. Martin and Keith Washington to come in there and put their hands on a little bit. And I think that that's going to help next year. I think they're going to be more involved next year as far as what's going on. But I think everything was like, we're going to pause because we don't have everybody we need. We can't show everything. And it happens. You don't have what you started with, so you got to start all over and show everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think somebody was in here last time. They kept talking about, what did they say? They were talking about wide receivers, and they were, I don't know, spewing out some craziness, talking about wide receivers don't develop in the second year, or you can't trust in the second year wide receiver to get it done. And I was just like, where are you coming from with this? Justin Jefferson killed it in his first year, and Jamar Chase killed it in his first year. The second year, like Justin Jefferson was still just as solid as he was previously. I don't think that was like the thing. And so, I mean, but a second year with Keith Williams and T. Martin, I think that is going to be phenomenal for these guys. They're going to really pull a game and take it to, I say, a step forward. I'm not saying a whole new level, but I am saying you're going to see a step going forward with these guys.
You got the best coach as far as receiver coach there is in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 of the best used to come to him, and everything that little Euro step with the Devontae runs, he gives all credit to Keith.
Yeah, that's a
So
jump step, and it was like it used to be ill advised. They were like, "Don't do that," and now it is a staple in a wide receiver's game now to
right,
throw off and tighten the hips or making somebody actually square their hips up because you don't know exactly which direction this player is going because of the jump step.
right.
Now, you do take a chance to get your chest caved in if you come up against a more aggressive corner, but
Especially if you step up, if you
yeah, you exposing your chest the entire time. Yeah, you gonna get it. You gonna get chest caved in. You are gonna have to take a break. Like, hey, coach, let me get a blow because of that. But yeah, Big Reg, he's throwing some more shade here.
yeah, like Roman. I understand. I understand.
He said, I was drawing up Greg passing scheme in sixth grade. That's just disrespectful.
He
It's
got
disrespectful. And the thing is, it's not the same as last year. If you
nah,
go back to last year's
a
scheme,
little bit, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you couldn't put when you saw losing so many players, you can't put your stamp on everything. The
yeah,
running backs really weren't involved with the passing game other
nah,
than the swing routes, and they were supposed to be. Remember, and I don't know how much you've seen of all of training camp.
yeah,
But DK was swinging out the backfield, going downfield. That's when he remember the picture that was all social media when he had the one-handed catch over Malik Harrison.
okay,
He swung out the backfield and he took off.
yeah.
Like we didn't do any of that.
Nah,
We
and I
didn't do
think it's just that the
that.
talent was down. I think Harbaugh just basically told him, "Hey, close the vault. We're gonna get an opportunity next year. Let's, and I think they just want to stay together for that continuity.
Yeah,
Because I'll be honest with you, I feel like if they had said, "Hey, we're gonna take Roman and we're gonna send him on his way," and so it's just Harbaugh sitting at the top, and you don't even know what scheme we running.
yeah.
Like, why even keep him if that's the case? And I think that's why they was like, "All right, we in the Bahamas. We're gonna flip this coin, have a couple mai tais." It's either gonna be Greg or it's gonna be Wink. And they probably flipped and said, "Hey, let's go talk to Wink about his philosophy. If he doesn't agree, then we'll agree to part ways."
See, this is the thing. I think all right. Every is what I'm assuming every contract is about 4 years for coaches. The reason I'm saying that is because it seems like unless you win some type of award or you the number one and whatever, you don't ever get paid the way you get paid, right?
Yeah.
You don't get paid more. The reason why Wink became the coordinator before Greg became coordinator, right? Wink was the coordinator. He became the coordinator, 2018, right?
I'm having trouble remembering.
I think he became the D coordinator because he became the D coordinator.
Yeah, I think he was there before because Marty came in around somewhere around that time frame.
Marty was there a year before.
Yep.
It was him and Dean Pease, and then Dean stepped down.
Yeah, I couldn't stand Dean Pease. Oof.
Wink became the coordinator in 2018. So you got 2018, 2019, 2020, and then this year, right?
Right.
But in 2019, that's when he got paid as the highest the highest defensive coordinator paid in the league.
Yeah.
But if the only reason I'm assuming that happened is because 2018 we had the number one defense. 2019, I believe we still had the number one defense again. And he was up for for a lot of people wanted him to they were interviewing him for head coach. Now, right? That first year with Roman is 2019, 2020, 2021, right?
Yeah.
This I think next year will be his last year. This was pretty much Wink's last year, and he was up for you gonna negotiate his contract. Only reason I think that they let him go, two reasons. One, they was waiting to see if Ortiz was gonna get the GM job at the Giants because Wink was one of the ones that the Giants liked, right? One of the coaches. That's one. Two, I don't think they wanted to pay him because of what was going on, because of what happened, and you can't. It's hard to say, hey, give me a raise when your defense is.
Yeah, there was a lot of stubbornness when it came to that defensive approach, and I think he just kept saying, "Hey, we're going to go with this because this is my style."
Right.
And I feel like it should have been adjusted just a little bit to handle the over the middle pass when it came to zone. And I don't think Wink had an answer for the across the middle pass.
Right. But then I'm not even getting into the scheme of everything. I'm just saying, like, as far as like contract wise, why he had to go. Yeah. Now, you think about it, he's there, right? Either your contract is up. This is your contract. Next year, we got to give you either we give you a raise or you can stay with what you got. And maybe Wink didn't want to do that and he wanted more opportunity. I don't know. We don't know. I don't want to say. I know he got fired. We know all that as far as them part ways, but I think it was justified only because you can't. If you're looking for extra dough and you didn't perform, can't give you extra dough. Now we could have give you a pass because everybody got hurt, all the injuries, which is true. But again, maybe that's not. I don't know if that's what he was looking for. We don't know because everybody kept talking about Wink for. I know we didn't see it on Ravens camp, but like if you looked on anything for Ravens on the Instagram, it was like Wink might get the job at Jacksonville. Wink might get the job at the Giants. It didn't, I only heard it like once or twice on NFL Network, but that was in the very beginning stages before they had. That's when Ortiz kept getting brought up, and then one time I heard it on the Ravens app when they do the final drive. Yeah. So as far as Greg is concerned, this is Greg's last year, right? Harbaugh gets the extension. This is Greg's last year.
Yeah, I think if that offense evolves a little bit, I'd say if they have success, what should I say? I wouldn't even say that it evolves. I'd say right now, if they go in with what they have, and allow Keith Williams and T. Martin to have a little bit more control of the offense and the schemes, the passing schemes. If they have success, I still think that they go forward with Roman and Harbaugh. He gets another, but they got to have a great year. They got to have a great year on the ground against. Got to look something 2019-ish with better passing schemes.
Exactly.
But still a concentration of what they do best on the ground. But mixing it up to where, let's just say when they do go for it on fourth down and stuff like that they go to their bread and butter plays. They don't sit here and go to this daggone to the flats crap that they were running each time. That they go ahead and go with the QB veer. It's your strongest play. They know it's coming, but they can't stop it.
Let me ask you a question. Would you be surprised? I honestly wouldn't be surprised because anything liable to happen.
Yeah.
Since New Orleans doesn't have since Sean Payton stepped down, and they have Taysom Hill. Would you be surprised if they tried to interview Greg Roman for a head coaching job?
If the Saints did?
Yeah. Because of what they have personnel wise.
Yeah. I would.
Would you be surprised?
I would be surprised.
Really?
I mean, honestly, it would work with them. It would, especially if he got fired. I'd say the Saints would be like, yeah, we'll take this guy. They got to do something. They pay this dude. You paid a backup $20 million.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to utilize this guy and make it the best situation.
Right.
Me personally, heck, if I'm going after somebody that runs that scheme well, I'm going after those coaches that were coaching in Arkansas and Clemson, Navy. Right. I want those guys to come over, and if I'm trying to build Taysom Hill up, that's exactly what I'm going for. Or if, let's just say, Roman gets fired here, yeah, I need to go after somebody who has an air raid or an RPO scheme and try to combine the two, because I think that's what you need to have is a combination of the air raid along with the RPO and read option. If you have those, you got the core of what Lamar does best, and I think that's how they need to go going forward. I know we're talking about us a lot, but let's see these last comments, and then we'll talk about this weekend. B Red, she said some shade, but we'll get back to that later on. As usual. Chris White says, never thought of the Saints for Roman. That's a good idea. So yeah, definitely good on you for bringing that up. Let's see what else B Red says. I'd be surprised if Greg got interviewed to be a high school hit. Just more hate as usual. You gotta love B Red.
We're gonna take Reg back to the Dave Chappelle show.
We don't need to get B-Reg tickets to the game because he will probably be coming after Greg Roman for real. All right, so let's talk about this weekend, man. We got some crazy matchups. Mm-hmm. I ain't done too much homework on the game, but I am just a fan of the game and fan of these teams. My son is a huge Chiefs fan, so he's definitely going to be rooting for his Pat Mahomes this weekend. And but at the same time, I'm kind of on the fence because I'm an LSU fan, and both of my Tigers are right there. Ravens is out of the playoffs, so I feel like I should be able to root for Jamar Chase and root for Joe Burrow,
Root
but it
for him to
feels
have a
weird.
good game. Don't
Huh?
root for Cincinnati. I said you can root for him to have a good game. Don't root for Cincinnati to win.
It feels wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm just
Just
like, I don't
all
know if I can do that.
everything you just said. You didn't see the pitches move in the back. Your pitches actually move. When you said,
Yeah, I felt like Lamar was coming over top of the head with the ball. Like I will bust you. I will say something else. You know what I'm saying?
do it like
Yeah.
Pinky and Friday.
I'm over here trying to duck tuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, bro, like I know you're trying to come for me or whatever. He got the foot, he almost came in my head, he's deadly accurate.
I can't root for Cincinnati. I know that's your boy. It's just too many. I heard too many comments, bro. He just, I got love for Chase. Burrow just, I thought he was gonna be a humble dude, bro. He just,
When he was at LSU, I knew he came, and that's it coming with the territory.
like Mayfield, and I'm like, man, you gotta be humble, bro. You just got here, like you gotta slow it down, simmer down. He like
Smoking Joe, man. That's what he do though. Like
that's how he always like
he came from Ohio State, so they was already cocky as all get out.
Mm.
And then he goes down to LSU, and I mean he finds a great wide receiver, generational talent,
right,
and scores 20 touchdowns to him
right
in one season. And then this year comes out, scores 13 and passes for 1455 just to Chase. So they are balling, and he's got his confidence is out of this world.
No, you can have confidence, but you ain't got to like you. To me, it's like you display that confidence. Okay, like as an artist, like I maybe that's just me. I don't do like most hip hop artists. I'm humble here.
Yeah,
you turn that mic on, I turn into a straight monster.
Yeah.
If I'm on the field, I'm a monster.
Yeah.
When Lamar's on the field, he's a monster. When he get in front of that mic, first of all, I never met a quarterback as humble, or even listened to a quarterback as humble as Lamar.
Yep.
That's the thing. I'm not saying he got to sound like Lamar.
Nah.
And I'm just saying like certain things like okay, when just example when the whole thing when Wink says something, and we know Wink wasn't taking a shot at him. He know Wink wasn't taking a shot at him.
Yeah.
You comparing him. First of all, you're not. A-Rod is a different type of man.
Yeah, bro. I think he did. I think Wayne took a shot at Chase, and I think that's what he took.
Well, no, he wasn't even taking a shot at neither one. He said
he was like Jamar is not a what did he say? Jamar is not a Megatron or something. I can't remember what he said.
No, he was saying like he said. Well, Devontae Adams is Devon.
Yeah. And so he was just, he was just trying to say, hey, this guy's got some growth to do. And I think it was a shot, but they nitpick.
Gold jacket yet? Don't. That's all you're trying to say. You don't need the gold jacket yet. That's all. Like you don't get that, and not in your first year or your second year. Like you gotta grow to get.
But I guarantee you this next year, but the Ravens will have a whole new approach to how they handle Jamar Chase.
I think we're gonna give Fruit Punch back.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I want to see old Fruit Punch. I want to see 8 forced fumbles a year.
Yeah, I didn't see. I don't know why he stopped doing it. That's the thing. Yeah. He didn't even try this year. He didn't try at all.
Too busy worried about that podcast. He need to go ahead back and let us do what we do, and he go back to doing what he did.
Yeah, where that Fruit Punch at, bro? You were killing it. Peanut Junior. You know what I mean?
But I think we got to have that safety sitting over top just in case, just in case.
It's gonna be some let me tell you, I know we're gonna draft another corner. We need it, but I think Chris West. I think we found a diamond in the rough with getting Chris West. I think he will be either gonna be the number 3 or the number 4 corner. Well, if Tavon is there, he'll definitely be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
number 3 corner. We obviously probably will draft a corner. I just don't think that it has to be first round. I think I just want a playmaker. So if it is a corner, but I don't think that. I think that we need more help in this as far as safety wise. I think that you can bring in a corner further down. The corner draft. This draft for the corners is so deep, bro, because there's so many receivers. So the corner draft is so deep. I'm about to watch the Senior Bowl too. I need to watch their practices. I missed the practice today.
Yeah, let's get back to Chris White says, ain't no way in the world Burrow not sore from last week. I guess he had nine sacks, first quarterback in a long time since I can't remember how long, but it was like he had 9 sacks in his first quarterback to win a playoff game after being sacked 9 times.
It's going to be a different game. I know, they beat Kansas City that first game, but I don't really think that Kansas City had much to play for, and I think they kind of throttled back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He has a different gear in the playoffs, and I think we saw that this past Sunday.
100%. But on top of that, like, I just feel like they throttled back because of, remember, Tennessee. I think Tennessee was playing like Jacksonville or something. Like, it was just 2 easy games that it was like it's pretty much over, bro. It'd be either we get the first seed or we don't.
Yeah.
So I think Andy was more worried about health and not exposing too many extra plays or whatever. And they played them. They played them tough, but they didn't play him like they didn't try to take him out. And then I think Orlando didn't play that game as far as left tackle.
I saw him there. I thought I saw him out there.
I saw whoever number 62 was playing left tackle at that time. I don't know who the heck that is. I don't know what happened to Orlando that game, but he wasn't in that game. But and also, what's my man? Hilaire he didn't play in that game. Clyde didn't play in that game.
Yeah. It was a good thing he didn't, because man, Jerick McKinnon went off
in that game against Cincinnati.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about this past weekend.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about this past weekend. No, Clyde was going in. He was getting busy. But I'm saying, like, when they played Cincinnati the first time, he didn't play.
Oh yeah.
Got him. They discovered a running game the same way they did. They won when they won the Super Bowl with Williams. They discovered a running game late in the playoffs. This is why, Lisa. This is why we need a running game. I think was it Lisa that said it.
Yeah, I think Lisa said it, but you got this guy. Of course, he what did we say? He said something about the high school. Let's see what else he said lately. Oh, here's Reg. Come on. He said, "Let Cincy win this bowl. That should be enough to get Greg and Harbaugh out." Look, you got to deal with it, bro. Greg, like Harbaugh.
Harbaugh got to get you, Greg. I mean, Reg, cut it out.
Like, this dude just like
cut it out.
He got it in, bro. He got it in. Like, he's sitting here waiting on the parking lot.
Reg is the official hater of the year.
For real. It's the player hater ball. He's like, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
Reg the hater. The hater Reg.
Red's got that haterade. He drinking the whole thing. He got a full on trash can full of haterade.
Change your handle. Big R the hater. You change your handle, brother. Change it to Big R Hater 29.
Ooh, Hater Reg 29. He could not wait to see Harbaugh go, but it ain't happening, player. Harbaugh is here for the long run.
Reg came in here. He's like, I got mine. I'm ready. I got mine. All the hate.
He got a slew of comments for Harbaugh. He just like, all right, which one? What page I need to turn to for the day? The hate on Harv. Giro. I got a whole book over here. Let me just get right here.
Let me tell you what's going on.
He just got it in for him, man.
How you feel about that game, though, the Cincinnati Kansas City game?
I think Kansas City gonna take this, man. I'm thinking like more. I think it gets out of hand, and I think once they, if Cincinnati gets away from that run game and it just tries to utilize Chase the entire time, they're gonna get some success in there. But honestly, I think Kansas City is going to figure out a way to put clamps on this guy and make Joe Burrow one-dimensional. And if it ends up being a 2-score game, they're behind 2 scores, this is where Kansas City is going to thrive, and they're going to get that defense to show up. So I'm thinking 31-24, but they won't score that last 7 until late. And so Kansas City takes it 31-24.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the numbers alone. You good on it? I just want Kansas City to win.
You just want to dub.
Kansas City to win. I know it's a rival now with against Baltimore, but I can't see Cincinnati in the Super Bowl, bro. I might not even watch that bad boy. I don't want to see Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. I'll be honest with you. I do not want to see. Look, being an AFC North fan, it's hard. I have more respect for Pittsburgh, and I would probably be okay with seeing Pittsburgh, I guess, because of the battles that we've had.
Yeah.
Just Mike Tomlin and just to respect everything. I don't even like, what's his name? Zack Snyder. I don't even like him. You want me to Reg, hold on, Reg. Let me do the hater. Let me be the hater. This
Yeah,
you know what the Joker said?
you hop over with Reds over here.
They asked the Joker about the play when they played the Ravens. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know, they only had one DB hurt. I was like, what?
Mm.
What are you talking about? What do you? Well, we came out there with Jokers off the couch.
Yeah,
The rest of
everybody on the couch,
the
man.
you playing a freshman. How
Yeah.
you talk about like, oh, you know, it's a tough team. We just all right, man. Look,
He was Moss and Kevon Seymour. Like,
yeah, like
man, everybody like who?
that. You don't get no credit for that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you ain't get no credit for none of that. They ain't get no credit for none of that. So it's all.
Mm-hmm. And so I think we a little we salty about that, and I think I respected the Bengals whatever because of the growth that they had the last couple of years.
Right.
From going, Zach didn't have necessarily a defense coordinator till late in the offseason. And it seemed like nobody wanted to play there. Then they started just picking up players left and right. Now, as far as the whole Eli Apple business goes, yeah, I hope they lose because of that. Because Eli is just one trash talking little turd that definitely got roasted on the internet on Twitter this past weekend, pretty bad. I don't even think people brought up the best part about the whole Eli Apple roasting. One of the Ravens' former receivers, Chris Moore, lit him up in one game. It was Ohio State versus Cincinnati. And Chris Moore had 3 touchdowns. And I think he had 200 plus yards that game. 3 catches. Three catches, bro. It might have been 4 catches, but it was like 3. It was like, man, 3 TDs. And he just lit up Eli. Granted, Eli wasn't covering the whole time, but you could see he embarrassed him when he did. I think it was twice. On 2 of those touchdowns, it was Eli Apple that got roasted.
This is the thing, like, his secondary, other than Bates, I like Bates because that's Lamar's boy, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
But the secondary is really not that good. They shouldn't look, Tennessee, if Tannehill, if you don't find your quarterback, Tennessee, it's not because I'm hating on Tannehill.
Yeah.
But when it's big, when it's time to play big, he don't play big.
So he's not a clutch guy.
No, he's not. So because I can understand. Y'all couldn't stop the run. My man that's I can't even think of his name, number 7, the backup running back behind Henry, had 4 carries for 76 yards.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't stop the run.
It was Foreman, right?
I believe, Foreman.
That's what they could. They should have shut Henry down because when Foreman got that rock, he shot out like a cannon.
Oh yeah, but then I mean, even then, like when you got down in the red zone, when he threw the first pick was foolish. Second pick was even worse because I'm like, you saw him coming off.
I cannot with this.
Red's the hater, man. Red's the big hater, bro. I love Red. I got nothing but love for Red. Red, you don't want to hate his ball, Red. You won. We gotta get you an award, brother.
Oh my gosh, the hater of the year now.
Red's the hater. Red has officially won the hater.
But go back into it with Tennessee.
Oh man, but like they just make it like some of those passes, even the second interception, you got to see that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you didn't see the blitz coming, you don't force. How you gonna force that pass? You're not gonna get it over them, especially when it's supposed to be a screen.
I wish he had played like that against Baltimore a couple years ago. It'd been lovely.
Sweet Jesus.
Man. But okay, I guess we gotta go over to the other game now. Let's talk about this 49ers and Rams.
This is good. That probably gonna be the best game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the first game may not be. It may get out of hand because first of all, it's hard to beat a team twice. Second of all, it seems like Patrick Mahomes on a revenge tour.
Yeah.
Now, like he on his revenge tour. If I honestly think if the Honey Badger didn't get hurt, I don't think Davis would have got off like that.
Oh yeah, that middle was wide open. Like my goodness,
yeah, confusion. There was too much confusion, and I'm not taking a lot. I'm not really trying to take stuff from Davis, like take away from Davis's play. He played great, but it's too much confusion. Everybody was all over the place. I think the dude they got from what's the corner Baker, the one they got from the guy from the Giants. He went through the whole court situation, and then the Giants had released him too early. He was the first round draft pick a few years ago.
I can't remember.
But anyway, Kansas City has him. This is his second year.
Yeah.
When he got out there, they tried to test him. He can play man to man. You're not gonna throw on him.
Okay.
Diggs couldn't get off on him. Diggs was trying to push off and everything. Diggs couldn't get off on him, and neither could I think it was Emmanuel. I think he showed something in that game because he's the third corner. Once number 21 slipped, guess who came out? They put him out there on the other side. But I'm saying you got once if Matthews clears, hopefully he clears protocol, to play in this game.
Oh yeah.
If he clears, that's what happened on that back end is not happening. That communication is key. They fell apart.
We got to switch over to the other game. So 49ers versus Rams. What do you think there?
I think the Rams gonna win this game. I mean, they technically look. If Matthew Stafford didn't throw the pick, San Francisco wouldn't have made it into the playoffs. That was a horrible pass that he threw to OBJ. He underthrew him. Yeah. So
I think it was brought up pretty well on the lunch break hot take. They said that the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, is not the reason that they went to the last Super Bowl, and he's not the reason they are winning Super Bowl or that they are winning games right now. He is a just there quarterback who they just happen to do well when he's in the game, but they find so many different ways to win. I mean, Debo was the answer last week. And they used him and I was like, dude, his dude's gonna get hurt. Sure enough, he got hurt because of the overusage of Debo. And I think that is their weapon. You stop Debo, you can stop that whole team.
But look, you're not playing in the cold. You can't. I think Green Bay's defense is solid. But if it wasn't cold out, this is my thing. If it wasn't cold out, if it was a regular day, with San Francisco. Well, I know Green Bay would have put up more points. Would Jimmy and the rest of them be able to run with them? Like, would they be able to go through Green Bay's defense like they like? I mean, they couldn't score because it was bad elements. But what I'm saying, like, would that offense have been more effective if it was warm out? You know what I'm saying? Against Green Bay's defense. Green Bay's defense is decent, but now it's no elements. You in the dome. That Rams defense is going to be coming. Donald's hungry, bro. He's still pissed off about losing the Super Bowl. And I'm sure he's pissed off that he lost to them before. So you got Donald. Vaughn is in his ear because Vaughn is telling them all everything what they need to do.
Yep.
So they have that defense has gotten better. And then they brought back E-Dub. And he'll make up for that mistake he had against Tampa Bay. But they brought him back for communication on the back end. I don't think I'll be honest with you. The Rams defense is not going to have to play. I mean, the Rams offense ain't going to have to really show up. I think it's going to be the defense. Y'all still going?
Yeah.
We on it all. We can't stop talking.
We went 2 hours and 8 minutes so far, man. I'm like, hey, look, we having a good time, and we got to the last top. We on the last topic right now.
What Red say? What Red say? You had pulled it down. What did he say? I know he said something.
Red said, I think the Rams will win, but the 49ers can sneak a win if they can run the ball early.
Yeah, but so that's the same thing for the Rams though. Cam Akers didn't play in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you talking about the last time they played.
Yeah, he didn't play in that game against San Francisco. He changed everything since he's been in there. So
it's clowns. he said Mr. Engraving came in and threw off the schedule.
He goes to hate.
I believe you, Reg. Oh yeah, but yeah, I think when it comes to this team, they're not going to have as many. The Rams team, they're not going to have as many fumbles, miscues as they had last week.
Right.
I think they're going to be playing a lot better level of football. OBJ is really catching on and getting that chemistry. Stafford, of course, is playing to a level that is just like, I'm like, wow, this dude, if he had any type of good coaching and good line in Detroit, he would have definitely been, we already see he's already a legend. But here, this gives you an opportunity to put a staple on that this year. And I think they're going to take care of the 49ers. I mean, don't get me wrong, the 49ers have a pretty good defense, but one of their key pieces got hurt this past weekend.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's ready to go back again. He came back on the field, but my favorite player on that defense for the 49ers is Fred Warner. He is a guy who can run with wide receivers. He can run with tight ends. Great coverage skills. Is not scared to tackle. I absolutely love Fred Warner.
Best linebacker in the game by far. Best linebacker in the game.
Yeah.
He deserves. He did between him and Leonard, put it that way. But I think that I would like for Matthew Stafford, dump into the Super Bowl. He doesn't have to win. He just need to get to the dance one time.
Yeah, but I mean, if he beats Mahomes,
dude,
that's awesome. I think some people are talking about, hey, if he beats Mahomes, that puts him in a jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like he deserves that. At least, however they gonna end it. But OBJ, well, I know Cleveland somebody kicking themselves in the head, especially. I said this to my cousin. I said, I know he said to Landry, like, bro, you got to get out of here. You got to go.
He probably called his dad, hey, go ahead and get somebody to put that together. Get that film.
Get me out of here, man.
Let me see your YouTube password.
The way he's playing, everybody's like, well, he knows it's not. He's a team player. He's gonna get his. And again, like we talked about, you need more than one number one receiver.
Yeah.
Like people talk about Odell, they talk about Cup. Sleep on Van Jefferson if you want. Think he won't shoot you in the foot. And he's getting better. This is the second year. First year starting. He's getting better. He's a problem. So I'm sorry.
Oh, you good, bro? Yeah. So it says Stafford got an all-pro roster and Lamar got Duvernay and Freeman. Okay.
It was bad this year. It was bad. Injuries hurt us. We can't do nothing.
It's just like I still feel like Baltimore's got what they need right now. I feel like, if they go get, let's say, if they go get a wide receiver, okay, go all out, break the bank, go in a negative or whatever, and go get Devontae Adams. But
that ain't gonna happen because whoever Aaron go. So that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. So it's like either go get Devontae or work with what we got, because what we got is pretty good, and they're going to be pretty darn good this next season. You know what I'm saying? Because Bateman in his second year, I mean, the dude is turning a new leaf. He already got a new girlfriend and everything. He ready.
I saw that. I was like, oh, Bateman changed it up again.
Yeah, I was like, he got rid of old Claire. Poor Claire. Got him a new boo. Over here eating cake in public, driving the Corvette around.
Oh man.
He said, new 22, new you. Let's go. So yeah, I think we just gotta have some patience. That's one thing these Ravens fans don't have is we don't have patience. We gotta learn that.
We got speed all over.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he's going to be a lot. Even Torrey Smith said he'll be a lot healthier the following year because he had the same injury his rookie year, and his second season he was like just speed demon. Bateman's going to be a lot faster, a lot stronger next year.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going to start.
Yeah. Hopefully they ain't got they don't have no hamstring injury woes because they gonna come back strong in the camp, have that consistency. Stacking these plays, they will both learn the playbook even better as far as the additions.
Yep.
I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna shock us. They're gonna have that week one we was looking for against them daggone Raiders.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you don't see Lamar at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure he's probably healed by now, but don't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if you don't, because I guarantee that, and that's all they talked about. So I want to get with all my guys this time, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing that people don't think about this. Joe Flacco didn't do that. Tom Brady used to always do it.
Yeah, Joe was like ghosting in the preseason, and there was in the offseason. Like, where? Well, actually, we know where Joe was. Yeah. He was getting his Phillip Rivers on. Cause I think dude was on. He was just getting a kid.
20 kids. Like, Lamar is about. He loves ball. He eats, sleeps ball. Like, he's gonna do what he got to do.
Yeah, now he need to sit down and stop playing on the beach in front of jet skis and
Yeah, I
stuff,
think he done with
basketball
that too.
courts. But
Yeah, I think he done. I mean, he gonna help. He gonna be out there for the kids, but I think
now
he done.
that's kind of where I would want him to go in and play in the Pro Bowl, just to get that last little bit of football that he got in his system out for the rest of the offseason so he
Right,
can play it smartly
right.
in the offseason versus playing street ball and other stuff.
I think that because I didn't like, I guess in my head, I'm like, okay, if I'm him, I got selected to the Pro Bowl. I didn't finish this season with my team. I don't want to finish it on the All-Star team. I want to get myself ready and be right for next year. And that's all. That's what I got from his press conference. Like, I just want to get ready for next year and not worry about you know everything else that happened. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't worried about no contract. Hopefully, they do get the contract done before March, so we can open up some cap. And I'm sure somebody got to be like, Lamar, bro, if you can get this done, let's try to get this done before then.
Yeah, because I mean, then they could be like, all right, look, we can go out here and we can go get you a lineman that you really want.
Trying to help us help you. You know what I mean? You open up 13 million, we can keep Bozeman. We can try to get somebody else for the right tackle.
Well, I'll go get you I'll go get you a left guard. I'll go get you a right tackle, but you gotta help me, baby.
Yeah. So hopefully that takes takes care of itself, and he just ready to go, man. Because I hate the fact that nobody's talking about him. They talk about all the good. I mean, AFC's loaded with quarterbacks. Lamar wasn't even on anybody.
Like they talking about Burrow, they talking about Herbert, Allen. And I'm like, what? Hey, y'all forgot somebody.
Yeah.
Man, that's why I put it on that last little thumbnail. I was like, hey, you see, Jerome,
I'm still in the league.
like, I'm still here, And the thing is they gonna forget about him most of the offseason until he signs his contract, and then they might talk about him again.
Yep.
But they in for a rude awakening. This dude, they said it's gonna be the revenge tour. I believe. Lamar gonna wreck something. Week
100%. He definitely gonna do it.
I feel it.
Man. I think it's gonna be the Rams in Kansas City. It'll be the second year in a row a team that got makes it to the Super Bowl. Well, that hosts the Super Bowl makes it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's gonna be history right there. That is pretty awesome to see.
And see if Kansas City make it again, and then try to see if they can redeem themselves. Now, if this happens, he's definitely gonna be in the conversation. I mean, already he's gonna be in the conversation for future Hall of Famer.
Absolutely, man. But we gotta wrap this thing up, man. So hey, I appreciate everybody coming through. Thank you for coming to the home of Original Sports Perspective, from our couch to yours. Kam Ru, doing the dang thing. Hey, like I said, y'all make sure y'all go check out his album. I can't wait till the 52 Blocks movie comes out. Yeah. I'm looking forward to everything you pushing, man. You got flavor, and it is awesome. I love your perspective here. We make a great team. I think Engraven said it best. This is the Couch Cam report. And I really enjoy this time we spend together. So I appreciate all y'all being a part of this as well. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe and hit the like, and we'll check you guys. I guess after maybe next Wednesday, maybe next Thursday is probably when we'll put something together again. But thanks for coming through, Kam. You got any comments, man? Final.
And I just thank you, brother. Make sure you follow my boy on Instagram, bro. Make sure y'all following, and we gonna keep y'all tabbed up, man. I'm always watching your videos, brother. I don't get a chance to watch everything, but I love what you're doing. You don't just tell them what you feel, and you break things down. You don't just speak in hey, this is just my opinion. You giving your perspective, but you also breaking it down so those that can actually learn the game. You know what I mean? So I always appreciate that about you. I'll see you next week, brother. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the games. Hopefully, it's not Cincinnati.
We go Chiefs, man. Go Chiefs.
I don't want to be sick on the call when you call me and be like,
like just what? Like what?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Yeah.
I guess I got it.
All right, man. Well, Big Reg, y'all have a good night. Chris, thanks for coming through. Engraven, if you're still in here, y'all holler. I know there's 7 people in the room, so just make sure y'all smash that like button before we head out. But y'all take care. Have a great night, great week, and happy football for the little bit we got left. Y'all take care. Peace.
All right, peace.